You're watching the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Now it's time for the Brent and Austen Show.
Travis Hunter.
We had to start it different from yesterday.
So much. What did we start? What did we have yesterday?
Well, not our best.
Yesterday's start wasn't bad.
Nothing was good about it.
Yesterday, the first like 90 minutes weren't bad yesterday.
Yeah.
It was really like the last hour.
That's how you finish.
Yeah, that's what you remember.
Yeah.
That was an epic disaster. But
yeah, it's bad.
Here we go. This is what happens in our world, by the way. Now we find out today if anybody did anything about what happened yesterday.
For sure.
Or we just did this.
Yeah.
Let's just hope it works today.
Hope it works today, man. That's all we got.
But it's really interesting about that Travis Hunter video, which is fine, right? But I wonder how people, it's
an old video, too, by the way.
Oh, that's way back?
Supposedly, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long ago? It didn't look that different to me.
I don't think it looked that different since he left, the HBCU.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to go in the comments, people are saying it's from a year ago or something.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to buy the comments.
Well, it's just an interesting dynamic considering we were talking about him in the Rolex stuff. It's like, don't get me a Rolex, and then it's like parading money around.
Yeah.
But it's Travis Hunter having fun, man. He graduates today from Colorado, and then he'll be in town after that. I got to believe they won't do too much with these guys Friday, Saturday, but they'll be out on the grass, as they like to say, or maybe inside, depending on the weather. We'll see how that goes. It is open to the public, Jaguars.com, and I'm telling you to go to Jaguars.com. I'm not even sure if it's sold out now or whatever. I know they maxed that out because they can only have so many seats. And it was getting pretty close. So go check it out if you want. 125 to 2:30. It's a small window right in the middle of the day, but the weather has been sketchy for the next couple of days at various times. So check Mike Burrish and the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Team for the latest on that. And it could be a fun, festive Saturday. We'll be over there, and our plan is to talk to Bashal Tutin as well as Liam Cohen, and we believe Travis Hunter will talk as well to the media. So I'll have a lot of that Saturday night in Action Sports Jax primetime, and then, of course, get to relive what we saw on Monday on the Brent and Austen Show here on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Brent Martineau Austen Lane, Jason Hamby, and a week away from the wedding. Well, a week and a day away from the wedding now. The countdown is on. We should have a countdown clock. We should have sold a countdown clock for the wedding.
Got a little extra change.
Just some flower place or something, right? I mean, man, we got to start thinking ahead. I mean, come on, let's go. We produced this show, Hamby. I mean, you only got a wedding coming up. I mean, what the hell else is on your mind? You don't do anything for that wedding. We know how everybody else does everything for you.
I wish that were true.
We've got Let's Go Fishing today. So Paul Dozier will join us back from the Bahamas, and we've got a bunch of catches. Again, sports@actionnewsjax.com if you want to get involved in the show and share your catches that you've been getting. I'm not sure how much fishing's going on the next couple of days, but I'm sure there's been great fishing weather over the last month to be able to catch some big fish, we hope, in and around the Jacksonville area. We talk a little AFC South today. In fact, Daniel Griffiths tells us a little bit about the offensive line rooms around the AFC South.
Okay.
Which apparently aren't too great. So,
sure.
But it's an interesting metric for the Jacksonville Jaguars in some of this. So we will hit that in just a minute or two. Actually, that's coming up in a short time. And Casey's going to hold court today. We got the judge back.
I love it.
I think we've got the judge. You were looking forward to this. You missed this segment.
I like it, man.
It's happened once, and you're like, I already missed it.
Yeah.
So we'll have that in the noon hour coming up as well here on the Brent and Austen show. Let's get into the AFC South a little bit because I don't really look. We don't big picture it very much. You know, we kind of pay attention to other teams. Obviously, Cam Ward was the draft pick of the Tennessee Titans. We sleep on them quite a bit.
Yep.
Indianapolis, I think, they are about as middle as they are geographically. I mean, they are just there.
Yeah.
You know, they don't seem like you have a strong opinion one way or another. on them. And then Houston's just the team to beat, although I don't feel like they are the Buffalo Bills, the Baltimore Ravens, or the Kansas City Chiefs when you say the team to beat. They don't scare the hell out of you. Fair enough?
That's fair, but also I feel like we're not like to the level of the Steelers or the Bengals yet either. You know what I'm saying? Like where you can compete.
We're more like the Dolphins.
Kinda, yeah.
Would you say, or the Chargers?
Yeah, I'll
or
give
maybe not even the Chargers.
I'll probably give us like the Dolphins. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, but I guess like the Dolphins have to be scared of Buffalo. They're chasing.
Of course.
The gap is huge.
Yep.
I don't think you have to be scared of Houston, but you respect it. Like, I think you respect.
They're the team to beat right now. Yeah, I mean, until further notice, until you prove otherwise, like Houston is the toast of the AFC South. I don't feel good saying it, but it's the truth.
Yeah, and does anything scare you about them? Like
about Houston?
Yeah, that they're going to continue this back-to-back and now make it a 3 in a row.
Their defense, their quarterback, Nico Collins, their running game. Yeah, there's a couple things that scare me.
Yeah, well, that's pretty good. Those are pretty good things to scare you.
Yeah.
But their defense comes to mind first.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of the best defenses in the National Football League last year. So there is that. I kind of gave my thoughts on the overall part. What about you with Cam Ward in Tennessee? Here they come. Brian Callahan, like a refresh, a reboot again.
Sure.
Anything?
No, just because, I mean, and Cam Ward might be that dude. I just don't think he has enough around him to elevate him so much where it's going to be like the C.J. Stroud year, his rookie year.
So here's why I got on this topic. I saw this in SI, and basically they say the most overlooked division in the AFC is the AFC South. I'm like, well, it's not really overlooked. It stinks.
Yeah.
Like it actually just isn't that good.
Yeah.
It hasn't been. I mean, let's be honest. And that's part of the attraction to it, in my opinion, is like you can go get it. But the offseason grades for the Tennessee Titans, I don't even care about the grades. Here are the, they give them a B if you really want to know. But here are the additions for the Titans. Okay. They add Lockett, Cam Ward, Kevin Zittler at guard, and Dan Morso at left tackle. So they try to redo their offensive line a little bit. Joey Sly, ironically, who the Jags signed last year as a kicker. Xavier Woods, Vermont Jones, and Van Jefferson. Mm-hmm. Lockett and Jefferson. Lockett's had a hell of a career. I don't know if he worries you that much. And keep in mind they have Calvin Ridley still, too.
Yeah, I always feel like Tennessee's the place where like the veteran wide receiver goes, you kind of forget about him a little bit.
Does
like
feel that
you
way.
saw it with Hopkins. Maybe Ridley we'll see. Like I wouldn't be surprised if Tyler Lockett fits that mold as well, but who knows? Maybe Cam Ward can come out and surprise and elevate everybody around him. But like if we're looking at wide receiver depth and like who you like on the roster, I think the Titans right now it might be last.
So how about losses? Kenneth Murray, Harold Landry, Mason Rudolph, Nick Westbrook, Akeen, and Jerome Baker.
Akeen torched us every time. Felt like we couldn't fit. He was the guy.
Torched us, Hamby.
What's that?
A lot of people torched us.
Well, that's true, but
yeah, there's really just listen. It's the NFL. Like you can be the worst team in the league and still compete. Mm-hmm. And I think Tennessee kind of proved that last year, right? The Jags had the Jags were one of the worst teams in the league too, but the Jags had 2 end zone defensive stands to beat the Titans. Mm-hmm. Or they would have had the number 1 overall pick. Mm-hmm. Actually, if they just lost one of those games, they would have had the number 1 overall pick. So, that was the gap.
Sure.
The gap was about 6 yards in a play in the end zone. Yep. And by the way, the Jags hardly made any plays on defense, but they chose to against the Titans for some reason.
Yeah.
So I just don't think they're like, it is what it is, right? The Colts, a B- grade, Hamby. Again, grade whatever. The key additions, Cam Bynum, Travarius Ward at corner, so they try to remake their secondary a little bit. Ty Warren is the big pick. Daniel Jones, what does that mean? Khalil Herbert, the running back. Their losses, Ryan Kelly had been there forever. And they lose him and Freeze. So it's 2 guys off their offensive line. Kicker. When your key loss is a kicker, Edge and Joe Flacco, they replaced with Daniel Jones. So, not a lot of movement really on their team.
Yeah, they really up the secondary, but they lose the offensive line. Those are 2 big ones.
Yeah, that was big because Freeze was he was a pretty big
I think he was like 4
signing.
for 80.
Yeah, big signing. So, and Kelly had been a staple
right
on their offensive line. Did he retire? I can't remember if he retired or something, but either way. That's not a lot of movement offense. Ty Warren, is he going to make that big of an impact
I think he
on
could.
their offense.
I think he could.
You just don't know who their quarterback is.
You don't know who their quarterback's going to be, but I think if you look at what Brock Bowers did for Las Vegas, and quarterbacks were kind of coming in and out, like he was a big influence. I think Warren can be that exact same type of dude.
Ryan Kelly signed with the Vikings 2 years, $18 million.
Oh, okay. Did Freeze go there too?
No, he didn't go to the Vikings.
Anyway, they also brought in Lou Anarumo from the Bengals.
Oh, he did go to the Vikings.
Yeah, I thought he did.
I thought he went to the...
They basically took 2 guys off the line of Indianapolis and went to Minnesota. Pretty interesting. But the Bengals, the Bengals defense coordinator who was getting all the love like 2 years ago and got none of the love last year, goes to Indianapolis. Will that be their biggest change? And the biggest change is that and also the health of Anthony Richardson. Who's their quarterback by week 5?
I lean towards Richardson, but I mean, there's nothing for sure in stone. Like I think they're gonna go back as long as you still have the same gym, and that's with Ballard, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think they're gonna try to exhaust Anthony Richardson of every angle until they know, okay, this isn't our guy anymore. So
well, yeah, and I mean, your other option is Daniel Jones too right now.
Sure.
So Hamby, at week 5, Anthony Richardson's the guy or what?
Yeah, by week 5, yeah. If you give me week 10, I think I'd probably flip it.
Would you? By that time. What's interesting?
You got to find a guy that can check the ball down to Tyler Warren and throw the 5 and out and throw the seam over the middle at 10 yards and everything like that. You got to find a way to get that guy the ball. Anthony Richardson is not good 5 and in, 10 and in.
The Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones last year numbers, and of course they were part-time numbers, 16 touchdowns and 19 interceptions collectively.
Yeah.
That's what they've got under center. Like that's a big problem in Indianapolis. And you're right, even the simple stuff is not so simple for Anthony Richardson. And the other thing with this question is, will he be healthy enough? I mean, he just has not stayed healthy. And I don't even know if it's as much of getting hit, like on run. Like you usually associate a guy who can run, a guy who can't stay healthy, with the running stuff. It hasn't all been that. I think some of it has been that, but not all of that. We haven't even seen a big enough sample.
You think Riley Leonard can get some time or not?
Oh, boy.
I think it would be really desperate times.
Well, I mean...
And I'm not telling you he couldn't. He might be better than the both of them. I'm just saying it would
be
desperate times.
Could you see him coming in and doing better than Richardson?
I could, but again, it would be a desperate measure to get to that point.
Gotcha.
Right?
Yeah.
Especially, the one thing about Richardson is he can, whatever your offensive line looks like in Indianapolis, he can help.
Just because of his ability to run?
Because he can move.
It's also
Leonard can run too. I mean, Leonard's...
Well, that's the weird thing about the situation is that he's literally Daniel Jones in college because they were both at Duke.
Yeah, that is
right.
true.
Daniel Jones graduates from Duke, and Riley Leonard makes his name kind of at Duke, and then goes to Notre Dame. But they're both below-average passers who can run, and Riley Leonard, I mean, he's really a runner.
But isn't Riley Leonard more of like a Tebow runner, where it's like
3 yards.
I'm going to take the dive off the tackle. Like,
it's not explosive. Yeah, it's between the tackles.
Dude ran a 4.5.
Is he that fast?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
But he is 3 yards in a cloud of dust.
It seems way more like that for Riley Leonard. And will that translate at the NFL level is my point, right? Sure. Like, are you doing that at the NFL? Like, Tebow did that in college. That doesn't translate to the NFL, So, I mean, who knows? Again, they have a huge, huge question mark at quarterback. I mean, just a massive. It doesn't matter the rest of their team. Is really the way until they figure that spot out. And Jonathan Taylor can help them out. But again, you lose 2 offensive linemen. We'll see how they fix it. I just don't think they're they're just not dangerous. They need a lot to go right, in my opinion.
Sure.
To be a good team and a lot to go right at the quarterback spot. They need to hit on it.
Yeah.
And this is the year to find out. All right, go to Houston. They actually got the lowest grade off-season-wise, which is kind of interesting the way these grades fell out. But key additions, Cam Robinson, Laken Tomlinson, Ed Ingram. They rebuilt that offensive line. Those are 2 interior guys. Then they add Jaden Higgins, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, a little attitude there. Christian Kirk, of course, and Sheldon Rankins to add to that defense, which is already pretty good. They lose Laramie Tunsil, so they take definitely a step back by losing Tunsil. They lose Eric Murray to the Jags, and they lose Stephon Diggs, who really didn't help them last year. The write-up says Houston took serious steps back this offseason after being ousted in the divisional round. What else does it say? The Texans could well be without receiver Tank Dell, suffered a knee injury. Stephon Diggs gone. And they did add Higgins and Knoll in the draft. So we'll see what they do. But they are led by a defense and I think a curiosity at quarterback. We've seen good and we've seen okay from C.J. Stroud. He's got a new system now this year. Again, I think maybe the biggest moves in this division come to the coaching part. Defensive on defense coordinator for Indianapolis, offensive coordinator for Houston, the whole thing here in Jacksonville.
They hire after they fired Slowick?
I knew you were going to ask me that.
My bad.
Well,
I don't remember.
We do have Google.
Hearing much about it.
Nick Caley, who I want to say it came from.
I think he was in. Wasn't he in house?
He might have been. He might have been.
been.
Let's see where Caley came from. I don't know. I don't know much about him, obviously. Nah, he didn't. He was with McVay.
Oh, okay.
He was with McVay.
Oh, he was their tight ends coach.
Yeah.
Of course he was.
Of course he was. That's right. So they got a McVay guy. I actually was thinking initially that he came from Shanahan, but that was actually, I think, might have been Slowick.
They had Laken Tomlinson on that key additions, but I'm not even sure he's a guaranteed starter, even on the Texans. Like, they didn't pay him anywhere close to starter money to be. So, I mean, that I don't know if that's really a key addition or not, but he might be a backup, which is saying a lot.
Yeah, listen, I like Christian Kirk, so I'm not going to sit here and tell you that's not a good move. I think they tried to revamp their wide receiving core for C.J. Stroud, and I think they did it. Now, how good are these guys from Iowa State? I'm not sure. And obviously add Christian in there. But we know Nico Collins is good.
Yep.
Doesn't look like they'll have Tank Dell. So, like their offense is certainly has the potential to be really good because you got Joe Mixon, who had a great year last year, and C.J. Stroud, if he gets back to form, big question mark there is their offensive line. But it has been for 3 years, and they've won 2 division titles.
Nico Collins or Brian Thomas Jr.?
I'll say what I say all the time. I'll take my guy here.
But is this bias or is this okay? Oh, yeah.
Well, and it's less resume.
Sure.
I think that's got a little bit like what I like about Nico Collins. He's done it multiple times.
Yeah.
Right, and he's become like the Nico Collins emergence was spectacular.
Yes.
And then you're like, okay, well, let's see if he can do it again. Well, yeah, he's really established himself as one of the top receivers in the game and a major threat for them. And it doesn't matter how you defend him. It doesn't matter, with all due respect, if Tank Dell's in or Tank Dell's out, right? So, yeah, I think that's a really good question. I think most people would, at this stage, I think you go in the resume and take Nico Collins. But it's kind of like Trevor and C.J. Stroud for me. I'm like, I'll ride with the guy we got here another time. I'll take my guy.
Yeah. Hamby?
This year or rest of career?
This year.
Okay. Yep.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
I'm making the rules.
Yeah, make the rules, man. You got it.
I know where he's going with it if it was rest of career. He was going with Brian Thomas Jr.
Of course.
Okay.
Oh gosh. I feel like after the end of this year,
Good question.
It could be said that Nico was like, you would say he's the 5th best receiver in the National Football League, and you could say Brian Thomas is 6th.
Okay. So you're taking Nico this year?
Don't worry, Brian Thomas Jr. ain't walking through the door. He's going to hit you with a bat.
I'm not worried about
BJJ.
BJJ. Here. I'll take Nico this year.
Yeah, I think with Nico, it took him a while to get going, though, is my biggest thing. It took him really, 3 years to find his footing? And it took Brian Thomas Jr., 8 games, 9 games when Christian Kirk goes down, and all of a sudden you're going to use him a little more on the offense. And I think with Brian Thomas Jr., you can almost use him in different spots. I think Nico, you could probably put Nico in the slot. You wouldn't really bat an eye at it. But I think Nico's a certain type of receiver, and to echo Hamby's point, he's top 5. But if I'm trying to build a team, I may lean towards Brian Thomas Jr. next year.
Hey,
this up-and-coming season.
That's good. That's pretty good. Call Brian Thomas Jr.'s numbers up, if you don't mind, from last year. I probably should have them off the top of my head, but it's been a while. Emmy's burner. You bring up a really good point about year one. Here's the numbers on Nico Collins: 33 catches, 446, 37, 481. Pretty pedestrian, right? 1 and 2 catches in his first couple of years, and then obviously 23, that breakout season with Stroud. He's 80 catches, 1297, 16.2 yards per catch. That's a high number, folks. 8 touchdowns. That's really good. Like really, 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 really good. I don't know if he won like an All-Pro or whatever. I'm sure he was a Pro Bowler that season. Then last year, he didn't play in as many games. He was banged up as well, which is going to be a little bit of a factor here too, because to be honest with you, he hasn't played in every game in his career. Like he has been banged up a bit. So 68 catches, 1,000 yards, 14.8 per catch, and 7 touchdowns. But that was in just 12 games versus even if he got to 15 or 16 games, those numbers would have been better than the year prior.
Yeah.
And of course, that's lifting a heavier load with the injury to Tank Dell and even Stephon Diggs. What's fascinating to me about the Brian Thomas Jr. stuff, go ahead, what's his numbers?
87 for 1,300, 10 tuds, 14.7 average.
Well,
Kind of forgot he got to 10 touchdowns. And at one time, he was at like 16, I think, on that average.
yeah. Now, if I'm playing fantasy football, Nico over Brian Thomas Jr. Sorry, but it's got to be.
And why is that? I'm not
Because you have Travis Hunter. Like,
so
I mean, Nico Collins is going to get his regardless.
Yeah, I see.
Like, every single game, he will be the focal point. And yeah, you got the rookies coming up and everything. You got Christian Kirk, but like, it'll be the Nico Collins show. You can see with the Jaguars where it's like, okay, this could be the Brian Thomas Jr. game, or it could be the Travis Hunter game.
Okay, I have 2 questions. 2 things. I hope I don't forget one of them, but I'm gonna touch on this one first.
Okay.
If he's the guy, if your offense is going to run through him, if not acknowledge like this dude is damn good, he's elite kind of good. If Liam Cohen has that look in his eye when you ask him about how he looked out on the field when he saw him for the first time, don't you get yours? Like everybody gets theirs. Like Justin Jefferson gets his. Doesn't matter if Addison's on there, right?
Yeah, but there was a stretch where Jefferson didn't get his.
CD Lamb seems to get his. It doesn't matter who else. And I know I know not everything's apples to apples here, but I'm like Tyreek Hill gets his. If you're that guy, and I understand we might have 2 of those guys. That's an interesting balance. I get what you're saying, but 87 you said for 1,310 touchdowns. I mean, okay, it might be 8. Can it be 80 for 1,208 touchdowns? Is that the same or is that different for you?
I mean, it's a little. Okay, like for instance, Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill didn't get his last year. Like Tyreek Hill didn't have a good year last year. Like all things considered.
Well, I guess over
coming
time,
from like,
I meant. Like
okay, but like my whole point is, if you have a 1A and a 1B, you're not going to always be featured as that 1A.
Yeah.
Like sometimes Jordan Addison's going to have his game. Sometimes Jalen Waddle's going to have his game. Like that's why I lean a little more towards Nico in fantasy football than Brian Thomas Jr. Just because if it's the red zone, if it's the game on the line, they're going to go to Nico. I think with Jacksonville, if you're in the red zone, it could be Brenton Strange. It could be Brian Thomas Jr. It could be Travis Hunter. Like that's not a knock on Brian Thomas Jr. at all. Like
I get it.
I think it's a compliment to the weapons that the Jaguars have. I think Houston might be a little more unproven in terms of what it's going to look like. So that's why I err with the side of Nico.
All right, I'm going to give you. I don't know if this is apples to apples. All right, I know, but I think it's a fair. I think it's a fair look because I know the Jags want to run the ball, and they might not run the ball like Saquon Barkley to 2,000 yards, but they want to run the ball.
Okay.
So they're not going to pass the ball in every down, right?
Correct.
Devontae Smith had last year, and these guys both played 13 games, had 68 catches, 833, 8 touchdowns.
Okay.
A.J. Brown, 67 catches, 1,000 yards, and 7 touchdowns in 13 games. So they basically, outside of yards per catch, where A.J. Brown was bigger, they had like identical numbers.
Sure.
Do you see it playing out a little bit more like that here in Jacksonville because of what you kind of just said?
Yeah, but at the same time, I don't want it to be like A.J. Brown, because A.J. Brown went quiet a lot. Like he had 1 catch against Green Bay?
Yeah, I think he did.
Like the whole playoffs,
there was that whole thing where he went like, because he was reading a book and stuff.
Well, yeah, but then there's a whole thing like where he complained because he wasn't getting the football.
Yeah.
So Yeah, I mean, like, listen, sometimes it's about the destination, not how you got there, but I would much rather worry about how we got there. Like, I don't want to have the conversation where it's the Brian Thomas Jr. one catch game. You know, like, I'd rather see a little more consistency. But once again, like, when you have other weapons, when you just brought in Travis Hunter, you know, when you have Brenton Strange, and when you're going to run the football a lot, like, yeah, those games could happen. I think with, like, once again, with Nico, like, I don't see him having those games. Like, I think Nico's going to always have the 7-8 catch games, you know?
And by the way, I'm not disagreeing with you on the fantasy front. Mm-hmm. I just don't know if it will take that. I mean, again, I don't know if that's going to be the primary reason for me that the numbers drop a little bit for Brian Thomas Jr. Here's my reason why I think. And I'm certainly that's a piece of the puzzle, Travis Hunter coming in. But I think if you had a healthy Christian Kirk and some, you know, everything else, he'd catch 70 balls too. Like, I mean, I think that was, you want other guys catching the ball. How many De'Ami Brown going to have, you know, et cetera, et cetera. But I think the difference is in the last 6 weeks of the year, and I don't know if you still have the numbers like the game by game, Hamby.
Yeah.
But the last 6 weeks of the year, like they absolutely fed Brian Thomas Jr. Correct. He was the only option out there. We were raising a stink about it, and they finally listened, I think. So, I mean, I don't know if you're going to do that. I don't know if you're going to feed him to the tune of, my guess is in the last 6 weeks of the year, he had an average of 8 catches a game. He was touching about 100 yards, and even the touchdowns ticked up a notch because he was getting the ball a lot. I mean, I think he had sometimes 13, 14, 15 targets in a game. You're not going to likely do that this year. Unless there's, again, major injury and he's your only guy. What do the last, 6 weeks look like, Hamby?
6 weeks target-wise were 10, 12, 14, 13, 10, and 11.
Yeah.
He's averaging 11.5, 12. Catches was 4, 8, 10, 9, 7, 7. He eclipsed 100 yards in 3 of those and had 5 touchdowns in the last 6 games.
Wow.
Yeah, 5 in the last 6. That's a nice run, right, to get to that 10 mark.
Yeah.
And by the way, I would say this. My mind, it was a little bit more, I had bigger numbers over the last 6 weeks than I thought it was. I thought he got even fed more than that.
Let me ask you a trivia question. How many, and I'm going to go exact, how many carries did Brian Thomas Jr. get last year?
Carries.
End arounds.
Like jet sweeps and stuff?
Jet sweeps, you name it.
I'm going to say 8.
I'll say 6.
Bingo, Austin.
Would
you have guessed more?
Well,
I guess you're asking, should it be more, right?
Yeah. I think I would have said he at least had 11 or 12.
Yeah.
It felt like he was, especially getting 1 or 2 a game at the end of the year.
So with Brian Thomas Jr., it was apparent that when you got him the ball on the edge and open space, good things are going to happen. Like, do you have the numbers in terms of what the rushes were? Like, what did he average per those rushes?
8 yards.
8 yards a carry? Okay. Yeah, see, I thought it was a little lower just because they ran a lot of bubble screens too as well, which is kind of the same thing, right? It's the same premise where, hey, let's get this guy on the edge, let's let him use his speed, his agility in space, and let's create some plays. So whether it's the jet sweeps, Hamby, whether it's bubble screens, it's kind of under the same umbrella, but obviously one's considered a rush and one's considered a pass.
Do we know what number De'Ami Brown's going to be? What he's wearing? What number is Brian Thomas Jr.? 17? 7. Sorry. 7. And what's his name? Travis Hunter is 12. And
De'Ami Brown did wear 2.
Okay, let's just assume he wears 2. I don't know if he's wearing 2, but okay. I think you're going to see I think you're going to watch a Jags game.
Oh, he's going to wear 5.
He's going to wear 5. Okay, even better. I think you're going to watch a Jags game, and whether it's TV or in person, they're going to throw that bubble screen. You're going to have to double take what number it is.
Yeah.
Because I think they all can do it.
Yep.
I think you're really going. I really look at that was my most impressive part of what Brian Thomas Jr. did last year is his ability to catch that and then in traffic. I think that's a harder thing to do than people let on. And maybe it's not. Maybe I just think it is. But I mean, you're talking about a guy who came in here as a draft pick, and you're like, okay, just go. That was the thing. Just go. And I think this is what Liam Cohen's talking about, and there were different routes and different lineup stuff and slot and all this, but I think his ability to get the ball right there and just be able to find his way through traffic, the patience that he had, right? All those things. I think that was an eye-opening deal for me, and maybe even like a coaching staff says, "Oh, I didn't know we'd be able to use him like that." Mm-hmm. Well, I think that's exactly how you think you can use Travis Hunter and De'Ami Brown.
Yes,
like, I mean, that is what you envision using those guys with in other ways. But I'm just saying that is the play, right? And I know we don't love bubble screens around here, but guess what? Get used to them.
No, for sure. Get your playmakers in space and sit back and watch what happens.
Yeah, because it's going to factor into a conversation we'll have probably in coming up after the break about the AFC South and getting rid of the football too.
Yeah,
and that's going to be a primary deal here is getting rid of the football. Mm-hmm. And those are the guys. I mean, if you really look at the chess pieces they now have from the left side of the field to the right side of the field to stacking one side of the field, they can really utilize that. Now, how good are those guys also in the blocking game when you need them to do that? That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Those guys, I'm not sure they're the most stout blockers, and you need to do some of that.
Oh, yeah. It's a big
right?
part of it.
So, fascinating to watch it unfold. Let's finish this conversation. To go back, we got stuck on I think the Texans. But here's what they said about the Jags. C+, offseason, great.
Okay.
And I would say, I really don't mind that. I think from the this was kind of outside of Travis Hunter. It was a very
we'll see.
Yeah, kind of off season. And we've had big ones before, and that hasn't worked out. But Hainsey, McCarry, Travis Hunter, Jordan Lewis, Agba, and Eric Murray listed as the key additions. Ingram, Kirk, Morse, Sheriff, Duvernay, Darby, the key losses. Here's the write-up. Jags decided to clean house. We'll try to get the Jags back into the playoffs. Gladstone decided to aggressively remake the roster. Bulky left him. Okay, you're not really telling me anything I don't know. In the draft, Travis Hunter is a game changer, but is he worth the draft capital given up for him, which included the 2025 second rounder, 26 first round choice? I don't understand that question in this because that's not what you're asking in this exercise.
Right.
Here on SI, you're asking, did they get better? Well, Travis Hunter makes you better right now. Who cares about 2026? So I think that's actually kind of a dumb remark. The big question is, will these moves highlighted by the hiring of offensive mind in Cohen return Trevor Lawrence to his 2022 form when he threw for 4,000 yards and 25 touchdowns? If that happens, it will be a successful season. And obviously, we all know that. But they tried to remake the offensive line. They added weapons in terms of two of them while they took a couple away for Trevor Lawrence. They have added to the running back room. They've got an offensive mind that runs what we would call now a modern offense. Remember that being the conversation when Doug was fired. So they've actually tried in a lot of ways on the offensive side as we look back on it. But I don't necessarily mind their ho-hum average grade here.
Yeah.
I don't know, honestly, when you take Ingram and Kirk out of the mix, and really like a Sheriff and a Morse who know how to play that position really well, and overall you would say are better than the guys they brought in, I don't know how much better the Jags are. Mm-hmm. I really don't. I think, I'll say this for the 4 millionth time, I think you're relying a little bit on an energy jump, health jump, get the football more than 9 times in a year, jump, and don't lose as many close games, jump. Which, by the way, is, I think, reasonable.
Yeah.
Those are 4 categories that can, if every one of those counts as a win.
That's a lot of wins.
It's at least 8 wins now instead of 4. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't get you into the Super Bowl, but it makes you at least competitive. And it gives you a chance in December, most likely, in this division that we think is going to be around an 8. Well, not an 8-win division, but, you never know. With a 9 or 10, maybe if you eke something out at 11, but, 11's the high water mark for this division, right? As the champ,
Yeah.
At least the way it looks. Nobody's going 12-5 or 13-4 in this division.
No shot.
Can't imagine it. So it puts you right in the mix, is my point. But I think Indianapolis feels that way. I think the Jags feel that way, and obviously Houston feels that way. I don't know if Tennessee feels that way. Tennessee would have to do a lot of things outside of what everybody believes, probably even in their own building.
Well, Cam Ward's got to give you the CJ Stroud effect. Well, he's got to give you the CJ Stroud effect.
Yeah, good call.
And
I don't. Listen, I'll be honest with you. I didn't see CJ Stroud doing that a couple years ago.
Correct.
With D'Amico Ryans.
Yep.
So I didn't see it coming. Mm-hmm. So that doesn't mean it can't happen. Mm-hmm. I don't see it coming. What's funny is you have a lot of the same question mark. Like Nico Collins was coming off 2 ho-hum years.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Okay, you got Tank Dell, you got who they have at the running. They had Pierce.
Yeah,
right. They had an offensive line that really just outside of Tunsil was Mm-hmm. And they had a new coach, an unproven coach. Well, Callahan's an unproven coach still, even though he's not new. They've got whatever. on offense, and it worked. Cam Ward, can he be C.J. Stroud? Maybe he can. But the setup isn't that different. I would argue, though, that Houston's defense was better that rookie year for Stroud than I think Tennessee's defense is. Although if you look statistically, Tennessee's defense was pretty good last year. So might be wrong about that. Look around the AFC South. Daniel Griffiths highlights the offensive lines in the AFC South. So we'll take a look at that coming up on the That One Painter First Coast. Paint the players here on a Thursday. Tomorrow night, we've got the Jacksonville Armada on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. It's 7 o'clock, kickoff, actionsportsjacks.com, Action News Jacks app, Action News Jacks now on your streaming devices, and also Fleet and Footy today at 2 o'clock. This is cool for us because we are producing this game with Action Sports Jacks. It's kind of a new realm for us that we've tried with some high school stuff over the last year. So this is actually one where if we mess up a camera shot or something, you can actually yell at us. It really is our fault. So hopefully we don't. It's tomorrow night at 7 o'clock on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. When it's time to get a new car for anyone in your family, just remember, nobody but Nimnick, the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville. Get the latest price breaks on 2023 and 2024 models or the newest 2025 vehicles in the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at nimnickbuickgmc.com 24 hours a day. GMC Sierras, Yukons, and the redesigned Acadias, or get the all-new redesigned line with Buicks. It's nobody but Nimnick, and part of the reason why is this is a first-class buying experience here at Nimnick Buick GMC. You're not just a customer, you're a friend. This is about getting a vehicle that best fits you and getting you on the road, and also helping you and your family down the road. Nimnick has a treating you right guarantee, courtesy, respect, fairness. The most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer, nobody but Nimnick. Who has put in the most years and stands behind a better experience? Nobody but Nimnick. GMC. We are professional grade.
The schedules are out for another summer of soccer here in Jacksonville with the Armada men's and women's under-23 squads, starting with the ladies and the home opener on May 24th. 2 weeks later, they're back in Northeast Florida for a June 7th matchup. The season wraps up with a pair of Friday night home matches June 20th and the 27th. As for the boys in blue, they debut against a couple league newcomers on May 9th and 17th respectively, with more home dates on May 31st, June 14th, and June 21st. All those matches are at Edward Waters University, and you can watch them live on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. Those teams are a big focus on Fleet and Footy, covering the big soccer stories each week on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network.
I'll put one in the back of the net for you.
Join us for player profiles, fun interviews, and the very latest on the Fleet and all things footy. That's every Thursday at 2 p.m.
I've been telling you about CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing for a long time now. Their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. We've had a Connecticut water softener and drinking water system in our home for more than 7 years. You can see the difference whether you're washing clothes, the dishes, or what I like to do most, fill this up for some coffee every morning and mostly all day. Remember, if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. Right now, you can get a free Connecticut reverse osmosis system with the purchase of a Connecticut Premier Softener. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and determine your water score. Don't know your water score? CGC will find out and recommend the appropriate Connecticut water treatment solutions so you can improve it. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Ask about our 90-day love it or leave it guarantee. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
There's a saying in sports, you can't win them all, but you can win a lot with good folks on your team. Like that one painter, First Coast. It's tough to beat the sun in Florida, so your home fades. It's tough to beat that HOA when they come calling. Beat the sun, beat the HOA with that one painter, First Coast. And it's a good time to do it. Less rain to work around, and painting in mild temperatures is perfect. After all, the paint bonds to the surface so much better. Give that one painter First Coast a call at 904-417-3557 or look them up at first-coast.com. shop.thatonepainter.com. Fast estimate, guidance on color and HOA requirements, and the highest quality job you'll find anywhere. Be a big winner in your neighborhood with That One Painter First Coast on your team.
It's fast-paced,
Hands off on first down, and there goes Edward Vander.
high fly,
Wide open receiver. It's caught.
action-packed, weekend fun. Fun for the entire family. It's the Jacksonville Sharks. I feel like anybody could play in this league. It's gotta be like backyard football, right?
Whoa! This ain't the Arena League, Brent. This is the indoor league, and they play defense here.
It's a lot safer to just watch the professionals play. And watching is a lot of fun. A party in the stands at the arena for kids and adults. And it's indoors. Get out of the heat for the summer and watch the Sharks shine inside. Jacksonville Sharks football, season number 15. It's the Drive for 5, and it's still alive. Get your tickets at jacksharks.com.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austin Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
What am I looking at?
Storm.
You know whose hands those are?
Kenny Pickett?
You got it. This picture's gone viral in the last 24 hours. This is our 99th out of 100 against the Gorilla.
Oh, yeah. That'll be snatching up an eyeball.
I forgot about that.
He'll be snatching up an eyeball for sure.
Those hands do look small.
Yeah. Wearing the double glove. Did he always wear gloves like that? Or is this new?
Yeah, he's trying to hide them a little bit because you get that like extra quarter inch on either side.
yeah.
With the,
He should have the
Got those milky white hands and that brown backdrop.
He should go like extra large on the gloves and just have the flap hanging over a little
There you
bit
go.
so you can't tell.
There you go.
Like the good little mittens that you might have as a kid.
Yeah. I like it.
I will tell you though, I laugh at the hand measurements and stuff like that. But I will say this. I believe if you look at the great athletes that we have, and I've said this for a long time, the one thing I notice is those dudes have huge hands. Like, now, you don't necessarily, if you have huge hands, you're going to be a great athlete. But I think the great athletes have massive hands.
Sure.
I'd love to know the percentage trait. Like, and I'll give you the example that I like to use the most. I mean, you take Dan Marino, or you could take LeBron James or Michael Jordan. I mean, I think you can picture Michael Jordan and like palming that ball, right? Like his fingers are really long. But the one that I go to a lot, because this guy is not big at all, but he was awesome, is Pedro Martinez. So Pedro Martinez is 5'9", 145 pounds. Like, what are you doing playing professional sports, right? Like, seriously, at 5'9", 145 pounds, go look at a picture of Pedro Martinez and what he could do to manipulate that baseball. I mean, he'd be a great piano player. Like, seriously. I just have in my mind that while that's a goofy metric and while some of the stuff that comes out of the combine is silly, I actually do think the ability to control that ball, whether it's a basketball, football, baseball, is an important part of it.
Well, yeah, especially if you're throwing it, if you're a quarterback, I mean, I don't get so bought into the metrics of the preconceived notions. Quarterback's got to be a certain size, all this stuff.
Yeah, the 6'3",
did just fine. But I think when we talk about hand size, I think the bigger the hands, the more you can grip, the better it's going to come out of your hand. I think there is something to be said for that.
Like Trevor has big hands, but Trevor's like what's Trevor, 6'6"? He's huge.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't see too many 6'6" guys with small hands probably,
for
right?
Sure, right?
So, when we were doing the Sharks shoot, the ball is different. The ball feels
like a rugby ball.
It feels, kind of like a rugby ball, but it has like good, like what to best describe, like almost stick 'em to it. You know, you remember like those little balls that used to have like the NFL logos on as a kid, and you'd play in the playground or the backyard, but they were small, but they could you could grip the crap out of them, right? Well, that's what the Sharks ball felt like. And so we were throwing the ball around later, and I was like, yeah, look at me. I cannot do that with an NFL ball. Like, I'll get an NFL ball, will come off the sideline, you know, like humming at you or whatever, and you go to try to throw it back to the equipment guy at a Jags practice, and it's like
Brent's shot putting it.
It's like, what the heck? Like, you know, I don't even try. If I do it, I'll be like,
rugby.
I'm like, yeah, I'm rugby styling it.
Yeah.
I can't grip it. But a college football, I can.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I really think there's significance to it. And what you can do with it. And by the way, like, how you play in cold weather. He's going to Cleveland, right? How you play in sloppy weather, wet weather. He had some Trevor run down the field and drop the ball. Like, even that kind of stuff, like, you don't want to be doing that.
Yeah, but he played in Pitt, right? Like,
he's
used to some bad cold weather.
Used to that. So, anyway, I do think there's something to it.
Yeah.
And I know it's a little bit ballooned on him. I get it. And we have a role for him in our guerrilla warfare.
Rightfully so. But at the same time, it's more of a redemption arc for him. I'm like, you know, this dude wants to prove himself.
That's right.
So let's put him in there.
Yeah, it is true. Dude's got bare paws at Wyatt. The other guy that I remember being from a hand standpoint, it's not the size. And you'll understand what this means.
Okay.
But this was a Tyson Alualu description.
Okay.
That I first got on, and now people will probably say it more often, or when we do Shock Your Mock. But Tyson Alualu, they say heavy hands.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, he had heavy everything.
And I understand that. Yeah. Like, I understand why that's important at that level, right? And I don't know what the difference between heavy hands and light hands are, but I get, like, those are important at your position. I mean, on that defensive front and offensive front, right?
Oh, yeah, it's everything. Yeah. Like, I mean, dude could have been a legit UFC fighter if he wanted to. He had, like, just the way that he was put together, whether it was lower body, upper body, like, he was just, you know, like,
was mass, right?
Yeah, it was. Was it like the most cut physique? No, man, but like, it was mass. It was just like
hard to move.
The meat and potatoes. Yep.
So how? I'm assuming in your sport, in UFC, like, you can tell the difference between heavy hands and not.
Yeah, by how somebody punches and everything, for sure.
It's
well,
like,
I mean, listen, if you weigh over 205 pounds, you land a clean shot, it's going to hurt. But, like, they talk about heavy-handed punchers more of, like, the smaller weight classes. You know, like the 135ers who, you know, have, like, the KO capabilities.
Okay. My interpretation of that in our world, Hamby, from a baseball standpoint, is a guy that's got, like, a heavy fastball.
Right.
Right? Like, it just feels like he's throwing a ball sometimes that comes on the plate or gets to your barrel. And this isn't a very common thing, I don't think, but it just feels like the ball is twice the size when you hit it, or weighs twice as much. And I don't know I don't even know why that happens. Do you know why that happens, Hamby? You know,
no.
I don't know what the difference is. A lot of it might be ride.
Yeah.
You know, because,
life.
I mean, you're throwing 60 feet, right? So how fast that ball's coming in 10 feet from the mound versus 60 feet from the mound, there's a change. Right? Does it have that late ride, to your point? That late ride guy that can, if he threw it 70 feet, it would still be coming in at 87 or 90 or whatever it is. Yeah. That's the one that, man, just feels like that ball is like hitting a watermelon.
Right.
You know? But hey, let's get to the offensive line, Daniel Griffith's article, because it matches up with what we're talking about in the AFC South. And he kind of has a fun little exercise today on some of the numbers. I'm not sure if it's fun for the quarterbacks in the AFC South, if you look at it. So he does two columns. The pressure percentage, which you're going to find fascinating for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and then the average time until they get pressure. And the Jags, it doesn't match up. But the league is not good. I'm sorry, the division is not good at protecting their passer, is what that right column says. But oddly enough, they're only fifth in pressure percentage.
Yeah.
But does that mean the quarterback is doing a good job of getting out of there? How do you interpret that?
To me, it's a knock on the quarter. Like if the Jaguars were 5th in pressure percentage, that means I feel like the quarterback's got some time back there to make something happen.
Well, I know, but I'm saying if their average time is not that long, they're just getting the ball out.
Oh,
I guess,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So you're getting the ball. It's one of two things: you're getting the ball out, or you're getting out of there. So you're not. Well, I guess it would count as a pressure if you're getting out of there. Sure. So this is totally like they're getting the ball out under 2.59 seconds. Mm-hmm. So the pressure isn't hitting them, while everybody else is kind of holding on to it a little bit. Here's what Daniel says a little bit more about the Jags. Their pressure rate is skewed in their favor as the team's quick time to throw limit the amount of possible pressure. So we're right there. When the team did allow pressure, they allowed pressure on average just 2.59 seconds. It isn't just the pressure that is worrisome, but the quarterback hits and sacks too, with Lawrence and Anthony Richardson, Will Levis, all missing time with injuries. So there's something that adds up. And oh, by the way, like Stroud, was it his rookie year or was it last year that he was banged up? Remember he had that big concussion? I think it was 2 years ago.
Okay.
But they've all been banged up.
Yes.
So that column on the right is important to try to fix. How will the Jaguars fix that? Is that Liam Cohen and his offensive scheme? Is that a little bit they hope is an upgrade in the offensive line? Or is that maybe more to the left column what the Jags are already doing? Time to throw is going to shrink even more.
I mean, I think when you have the ability to run the football at a consistent rate, that's only going to help your offensive line in terms of pass setting and pass blocking, because now you have the defense on their heels a little bit. When we talk about what the Jaguars look like this past season, it was a lot of playing from behind, a lot of had-to-pass situations.
That's a good call, too.
Which doesn't help anybody. So I just think the more balanced attack, the more consistent attack of being able to run the football for 4, 5, 6 yards a pop, I think would only help the offensive line and those metrics on the right side.
What's pretty interesting is the Jags, if you look at this thing, just from a 30,000-foot view, if you look at these numbers, and you say, okay, well, the AFC South is one of the worst divisions in the game. Well, that correlates because they don't protect their quarterback. Oh, and their quarterback is out for some time. So all of this correlates. We get it. That's football. If he's not comfortable, the quarterback's not playing well, you're not going to be very good. But then you add it to what we just talked about in the first half hour of the show, where it's like, what did you do to add? Mm-hmm. And I don't know if there's anybody in the AFC South that actually did better or got better that much on their offensive line. I mean, Houston got rid of the best offensive lineman in the division. Indianapolis got rid of 2 guys that Minnesota took. The Jags got older, so then they had to replace, so they got younger, but I'm not sure that makes them better. And they're going to hope Walker Little can do his thing better than Cam Robinson did his thing. Heck, Cam Robinson, who was here in Jacksonville, is now the starting left tackle in Houston. So are we going to run this stat back in January of 2026 and say, well, kind of looks the same or worse?
Yeah. I mean, you would, on paper, look worse, right? But once again, I mean, sometimes there's no rhyme or reason. Like we've talked about it many times in Jacksonville, where on paper, the offensive line looks like they should be able to do some damage, and then they don't get it. So, yes, on paper, should it be worse? Absolutely. Will it be? I don't know. Maybe Anthony Richardson steps up a little bit and maybe that offensive line plays together. Who knows? There's a lot of variables that go into that.
Yeah, there are a lot of variables, and you said some of them. I mean, I think some of it's staying healthy. The question is, can they stay healthy if you're only getting 2.5 seconds to throw the football? Mm-hmm. But I don't know here, and I guess I could ask Daniel Griffiths. He might be able to tell me this. Look at that. He answers my questions in a text without even me asking him. He's good. You can check it out, by the way, at actionsportsjacks.com. Average time to pressure is just how fast in seconds QB is pressured. Higher is better, of course. Ravens OL, for instance, allowed Lamar 3.01 seconds before he faced pressure on average. So, our view is Lamar's creating time sometimes, right, in extending plays.
Sure. Yeah.
Which he did.
He is.
But the 3.01, just to even give him an opportunity to scan the field and then get better. Real quick, what was the like? Those were 2.59 seconds and everything else. I mean, we're talking about like very minute amount of time, which makes you the best at 3.01 to 25th at 2.59.
Sure.
But it's a fast sport, man. Like I
Oh,
always
yeah.
say, it's like
You have to diagnose. You got to pull the trigger like that.
it's a frame of video. That's why I always go. That's how I dissect how fast the game is. A frame of video, guys, from like goes from here to like there. It goes from like, oh, you got plenty of time to throw the ball to sacked. In like a frame of video. It's nuts.
Yeah.
If I could show everybody, I mean, which I probably could. I'm just always amazed at that. Like where a player is in one frame of video versus the next, which is like 1/30th of a second. It's just crazy. That's how fast the game is. And I think that's a great indicator of it. That's that one painter, First Coast Paint, the player, or players, in this case, the offensive lineman for the entire AFC South. Daniel Griffiths writes about it. We talk about it. Go to actionsportsjacks.com and also go to thatonepainter.com/first-coast for all your painting needs. Interior painting this weekend would be the way because of some of the rain, but we needed some of the rain. Still a good time to give them a call and check out thatonepainter.com/first-coast for any exterior work you have coming up in the summer as well, anywhere in Northeast Florida. All right, let's stay on the tracks today and take a time out. Brent Austen Show on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. We've got Holden Court coming up in a little bit. Let's go fishing at 11:30. We'll even take you into the archives here as well. And what about the New York Knicks and the Boston Celtics?
This has been the craziest NBA play. Well, it's been the craziest NBA playoffs of all time. Maybe I can remember. It's wild. Yeah,
which is good.
Very good. Yep.
Entertainment value.
Yep.
Are the Celtics done? And what about the Canadians in hockey? Is this the year?
Relax.
We'll be back on the Brent Austen Show. When it's time to get a new car for anyone in your family, just remember, nobody but Nimnick, the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville. Get the latest price breaks on 2023 and 2024 models or the newest 2025 vehicles in the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at nimnickbuickgmc.com 24 hours a day. GMC Sierras, Yukons, and the redesigned Acadias, or get the all-new redesigned line with Buicks. It's nobody but Nimnick, and part of the reason why is this is a first-class buying experience here at Nimnick Buick GMC. You're not just a customer, you're a friend. This is about getting a vehicle that best fits you and getting you on the road, and also helping you and your family down the road. Nimnick has a treating you right guarantee, courtesy, respect, fairness. And most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer, nobody but Nimnick. Who has put in the most years and stands behind a better experience? Nobody but Nimnick. GMC, we are professional grade.
The schedules are out for another summer of soccer here in Jacksonville with the Armada men's and women's under-23 squads, starting with the ladies and the home opener on May 24th. 2 weeks later, they're back in Northeast Florida for a June 7th matchup. The season wraps up with a pair of Friday night home matches June 20th and the 27th. As for the boys in blue, they debut against a couple league newcomers on May 9th and 17th respectively, with more home dates on May 31st, June 14th, and June 21st. All those matches are at Edward Waters University, and you can watch them live on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. Those teams are a big focus on Fleet and Footy, covering the big soccer stories each week on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network.
I'll put one in the back of the net for you.
Join us for player profiles, fun interviews, and the very latest on the Fleet and all things footy. That's every Thursday at 2 p.m.
I've been telling you about CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing for a long time now. Their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. We've had a Connecticut water softener and drinking water system in our home for more than 7 years. You can see the difference whether you're washing clothes, the dishes, or what I like to do most, fill this up for some coffee every morning, and mostly all day. Remember, if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. Right now, you can get a free Kinetico reverse osmosis system with the purchase of a Kinetico Premier softener. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and determine your water score. Don't know your water score? CGC will find out and recommend the appropriate Kinetico water treatment solutions so you can improve it. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Ask about our 90-day love it or leave it guarantee. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Kinetico dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
There's a saying in sports, you can't win them all, but you can win a lot with good folks on your team. Like that one painter, First Coast. It's tough to beat the sun in Florida, so your home fades. It's tough to beat that HOA when they come calling. Beat the sun, beat the HOA with that one painter, First Coast. And it's a good time to do it. Less rain to work around, and painting in mild temperatures is perfect. After all, the paint bonds to the surface so much better. Give that one painter First Coast a call at 904-417-3557 or look them up at first-coast.thatonepainter.com. Fast estimate, guidance on color and HOA requirements, and the highest quality job you'll find anywhere. Be a big winner in your neighborhood with that one painter First Coast on your team.
It's fast-paced,
Hands off on first down, and there goes Edward Vander.
high-fly,
Wide open receiver. It's caught.
action-packed, weekend fun. Fun for the entire family. It's the Jacksonville Sharks. I feel like anybody could play in this league. It's gotta be like backyard football, right?
Whoa! This ain't the Arena League, Brent. This the indoor league, and they play defense here.
It's a lot safer to just watch the professionals play. And watching is a lot of fun. A party in the stands at the arena for kids and adults. And it's indoors. Get out of the heat for the summer and watch the Sharks shine inside. Jacksonville Sharks football, season number 15. It's the drive for 5, and it's still alive. Get your tickets at jacksharks.com.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austin Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Oh, yeah, we saw this the other day for a little bit, and strength of schedule, whatever the hell that means.
Not a damn thing as far as I'm concerned, Brent.
It really doesn't. Jags have the 6th easiest or hardest?
Looks like
Easier. Okay. Which, I mean, I guess they should, right? If you have a, what did they finish last year? 3rd place? So they'd have a 3rd place schedule. I do think that makes a difference sometimes. Where are the Texans?
25th.
Okay. Is that worth a game or two? Maybe.
Yeah.
I thought it was a couple years ago for the Jags. I just think it depends how the season shakes out. Right?
Yeah. It's just, you know how I feel about these analytical, like, strength of schedule things. Like, you have no idea how good teams are going to be. Or, like, there's always the teams that surprise you, and there's always the teams that underachieve. So I was never a big fan of, like, all right, strength of schedule. Like, well, yeah, maybe from last year's showings, but, like, guess what? Last year's showings, teams are going to surprise, teams are going to disappoint.
Yeah, I agree with you. So along those lines, the schedule comes out Wednesday. And, Amby, you take us through what you wanted us to do here, because we know the opponents already. And we will do, I know what we're going to do next week, because we all do it, even though it's kind of silly to do, and we acknowledge.
The win-loss.
We're going to pick the win-loss column and be like, oh, yeah, I think. Well, how the hell do we know based on what you just said? But we do have a little evidence, right? I mean, we could say we don't really know on paper if the AFC South is that much better than it was last year, quite frankly. We just did that exercise.
For sure.
Do we know other teams are better? Well, we could make those assumptions, but we just really won't know until the middle of October probably, and who is really better.
Have you gotten word of, like, what the release video is going to be? Because, Brent, I mean, it's a big day for Jaguars media members, man. You release that schedule.
Yeah.
You got anything?
I haven't.
Going to incorporate Travis Hunter somehow? What are we thinking?
I doubt it incorporates Hunter, because I think a lot of that stuff, the legwork of that, is done pretty early.
Gotcha.
So, like, I think what happens is the NFL, I think this is, don't quote me here, but I think the NFL kind of gives either a theme or an idea of themes. Because remember, they've had like a baby theme in the past and stuff.
There was the infomercial one.
Yeah, so I think they might either give you like a lane to stay in.
Really? Okay.
Or maybe actually like a theme for the league to play with. Because I feel like the baby one was like you had to play that. You had
but
didn't
I
have
feel
any
like
choice.
every team does it different though. Like remember the Titans had we were on the street talking to a bunch of women. The Chargers go anime every single year, which it's pretty good.
Wasn't there one year where everybody had a baby something or it wasn't?
I don't think
See,
so.
like the
I don't know.
so my interpretation is you get like 3 choices.
Oh no, I think you're open to do whatever you want to do. Like last year, like the Lions used Tim Robinson, who's from I think he should leave, but he's from Detroit. So like they had like their own little like bit that they did.
And last year was 2 years ago was the script one for the Jags, not last year.
I think 2 years ago was the script.
Yeah,
I
that
can't remember
It was
what
2
was
years
last year's for the Jaguars.
Obviously, the script one was their
That was a good one.
better one.
Yeah.
So anyway, to answer your question, I don't know what
No
this
idea.
year's is. I haven't even asked.
Gotcha.
So I wonder what it will be like.
Last year was all the superheroes.
Oh yeah, with the X-Men. Those X-Men 97, right? I break it down for Brent because he had no idea.
Yeah, I
remember
no idea.
that.
That one totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one totally.
X-Men 97.
That's why I didn't remember it.
yeah, for sure.
And didn't Tennessee do the same thing? Like, didn't they go back to the street again?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
they
yeah,
did
yeah.
twice around.
As they should. I mean, it's
But you say
good.
Chargers go anime all the time.
Chargers always go anime, which is usually pretty funny.
What would you do?
Each team's got like their own kind of like
He's doing
brand.
GTA, Brent. Like
Yeah, I mean GTA could be a good one. I'm trying to think because like it's got to be topical, so it's got to be like.
Well, it's going to be topical. This is what I asked. It's like, who are you playing to? Like
your fan base, because like remember, because it's almost like a diss track. Because like there's some teams out there that'll like drop like little subtle hints of like little jabs there here or there.
Yeah.
It's a good question, Hammy. What would I do? I have to think about that one a little bit.
All right. We have until next week.
Yeah.
Hamby, you got anything? I mean, what's topical right now? You mentioned GTA. That's not a bad one, I think. Is there anything else like super pop culture wise or that everybody's leaning into these days?
Yeah, I'm trying. I mean, could you like Twitch? Like influencer videos, like going out in the streets live. Yeah, see, there you go. There's a little jab.
My own research, yeah.
That was that.
Yeah, that was good. Those are good.
That was Jacksonville's.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
see, I don't care about the superhero ones, but my own research stuff I really like.
Yeah, that's
I
funny.
like the subtle
That's funny.
piece of that.
Yeah.
I also like the fact that teams have been a little more willing to do that, even on social media after games. Like, I think we see this in college now, too. You take a little shot, and we're okay with it. But yeah, like, there's nothing going. I don't know. I don't feel. Again, I'm not the guy for this. I'm.
Yeah.
I don't know what the next wave is, and I do find it pretty interesting. The landscape of the NFL audience is vast. Obviously, it's not just a male-dominated sport. Obviously, plenty of women that watch the NFL, but also the age, right? I mean, I think there's a lot of consumers that consume the NFL, you would say, I don't know, 40 plus, because they can maybe afford season tickets or things like that. But I also think there's a lot of kids with fantasy football and everything. So it's wide ranging. What you find in this is, for the most part, take the baby one out of the last however many years, they really target the millennial audience, it feels like, for their theme.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, anime, nobody at 50 years old is watching anime. Most likely.
Probably
I'm
not.
not saying nobody, but obviously not the vast majority.
Probably not. But
and
you've never been to a Comic-Con before. But
so is it a high audience like of older
Hey,
folks?
you can get some olds in there. Oh, yeah.
I get you can say some,
There's,
but
there's some olds in there. Yeah.
where's the highest percentage is my point.
Yeah, for sure.
In the
You're right.
millennial category?
Yeah. I mean, I would, yeah, for sure.
So what are they going? So they're going to talk to, like you said, the latest trending whatever.
Yeah, I would probably do something since you got Travis Hunter and it's a new dawn. I would probably go off the phrase Actionville, and then with Actionville, I would something with whether it's Grand Theft Auto or movies or something like that, like a trailer, and then you feature every team in that. Or we can just do like Mugshot Monday and just have like every team's like a fan from every team get arrested, and then obviously like cater to like their brand of getting arrested.
Could do that.
There you go.
I don't think they want to promote that.
Let's go
in the
Actionville.
NFL. That one might get axed at the league office.
Somebody's got to do something with AI because that's
Maybe, yeah. So there you go. Right. It depends though. See some companies haven't embraced AI, and some philosophically. So I don't know where the NFL is on that. I'm not sure. Like they might be like, yeah, that's fine. But who knows? I don't think the NFL is doing anything in a casino.
Yeah, probably not.
I highly doubt it.
Yeah.
I wonder where it is. That's kind of an interesting. Now you have your test, like the whether it's anime or the superheroes that we had last year.
Somebody said Severance. That's a good one. So Roger Staten comes up with Severance. That might actually be genius because then you could do, and Brent, you don't know, Ham, you don't know, but for those people that watch Severance, you could do the Travis Hunter Severance where he breaks up and he goes one on offense and one on defense. So it's like a cartoon thing where like, all right, Severance, he splits up. All right, he's going on offense and he's going on defense. And then you somehow incorporate all your opponents. I actually like that a lot. And that would be, I mean, Severance is like, I think the biggest show now on Apple TV. So like it's got some viewership. That would be cool.
All right. You watch Severance?
Love Severance. Probably the best show going right now, I would say.
I'm going to check it out. That's on Apple TV?
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you right now, put your cell phone down for it. You can't be on your cell phone watching this.
I don't watch. When I watch stuff, I watch stuff.
I'm just saying.
I'm locked in.
I had to tell some friends because my friends are like, oh, it's too boring. Because like, what? Because you're not paying attention to it. It demands a lot of focus.
I think we've discussed this before. This one gets a really slow start.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta get through a little bit of that. Right now I'm watching Mobland.
Yeah. Tom Hardy, right? Is Tom Hardy in that one?
Yes.
Yep. Guy Ritchie? Okay, you don't. Yeah. I think that's a Tom Hardy.
I think you're right. I think you're right. But anyway, it's good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Nice.
6 episodes in.
Okay.
All right. So what do you want us to do?
well, just kind of like what would be your wish list? Teams that you'd rather play in the first couple games than in the back, or what you want for if you could pick a primetime game or two, or who you'd want to play in London, something like that.
Very specific, Camby. I would.
Yeah, Brent. What are you feeling, man? Just based off vibes, Brent. Like, what are you thinking, man?
All right. Well, let me narrow this down because we're gonna have probably some schedule talk going into next week too. But I'll ride with you on this, Hamby. And if you could pick a primetime game, because everybody loves primetime games. So, what do you want?
I want the Chargers. Give me the vibes from 2022 again.
Okay.
That's cool. And does it matter if it's home or away?
I mean,
if there was the Chargers,
I
I
like
want
a home game. You know, I mean, just because you can kind of showcase.
If you're going to play this
Jacksonville.
Well, the reason I say that, like,
Cincinnati would be fun.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, see, Cincinnati to me there's a lot of meaning in Cincinnati. There's a lot of like almost
it
ghosts.
went to hell.
You got Urban.
Yep.
When that one was in
Trevor
prime
got
time,
hurt.
you got to me the whole Doug Peterson era changed in the Cincinnati Monday night loss here in Jacksonville.
Okay,
like they were the number 1 seed, and it flipped. Mm-hmm. So maybe we shouldn't play them in prime time. Mm-hmm. But I also think there's it's some significance. Like if you're going to turn this around, and then hopefully you get Joe Burrow and Trevor Lawrence, in that, which would be
correct,
which would be good. But that's an away game. So if there was an away one, I would pick that one. Mm-hmm. Believe it or not. And I think, the storylines of the Rams would be kind of cool to pump up for prime time.
Sure. With
all the similarities here. And you could really, I think from a national perspective, that's interesting.
Yes.
Of course you could say the Chiefs, but I don't know if I really want to, think you can win the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah, I think the Rams.
Yeah. I probably lean a little more towards the Chargers, but Rams would be cool. I mean, Chiefs would obviously be great, right? Like that's going to get a lot of viewership. I will say this though, if we're playing the game and kind of the vibes that we're feeling, I want Seattle week 1 or week 2.
And why do you say that?
Weather. This is where we always differ, but I think there's a distinct competitive advantage if you're going to play in the heat in Jacksonville. Coming from a team from the Pacific Northwest, I like those odds when it's going to be hot and humid against a team like the Seahawks.
And with Sam Darnold being brand new.
Oh man, he's gonna wilt. Gonna see ghosts again.
Who's the Jets quarterback?
Fields.
Yeah, Justin Fields.
Fields. That's
Who they're excited about.
It was the Giants who got the two guys. It got Russell Wilson and
Jameis.
And then Jackson.
I'll tell you what. I will take a look at the opponents. That's what I take a look at, right? I go coach quarterback. All right, Kansas City. Right? Chargers. I think advantage Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
Rams. Advantage Rams. Right now, I mean, the problem is we don't know what Liam Cohen is.
Correct.
So, but I still think those guys are really proven. I think then the Jets gets interesting, right? And even Seattle, that middle column is all like, okay, I think you can have an advantage there.
Yeah.
With your quarterback specifically, you hope.
Yeah, you
and
hope.
And then even the coach is a little unknown on all three of those.
For sure. You hope. But to be fair, Bryce Young did earn a little bit towards the end of the last, I still put him over. I still put Trevor over him, obviously, but I'm not going to write Bryce Young off.
And then you take a look at, again, I go quarterback coach, Tennessee, Indy. Okay. Not Houston. You wouldn't do that. Most people wouldn't do that.
Yes.
So you go to the Raiders. I think, Pete Carroll.
Mm-hmm.
Who do they have as a quarterback? Oh, it's Gino. Probably advantage Raiders, given the fact that Pete Carroll is so much more accomplished, obviously, right?
Yeah.
And is there enough to get Trevor over Gino?
I mean, there should be, but...
Well, I know, but I don't know if there's enough there to override Carroll over...
No, I don't think there is, to be fair.
San Fran, you go San Fran, more accomplished, obviously, with Shanahan.
Yep.
Denver,
It's hard to deny Peyton. Yeah.
How do you feel about Arizona?
Kyler Murray. I don't remember who their coach is. It's, what's his name? Gannon. I mean, you got to take Kyler over Trevor right now.
Yeah, but I don't know if Gannon scares.
But does Cohen scare? We don't know.
All right, then let's do this. We'll give the away team because it's kind of a toss-up.
Yeah.
You're on the road.
Sure.
And you're on the West Coast.
Yeah, and the West Coast, which is never good. So really, if you do it that way, and I think that's a way to do it, and that doesn't always work out for me. But I do think, there was a time where I was riding with Doug and Trevor over almost anybody.
Of course, yeah.
Almost anybody. You really have to have, Reed and Mahomes to thwart that. And it didn't really work out that way at the end of the day. So if you do that experiment, I think you're really in a tough spot with probably Houston in those 5 away games, specifically 4 of them, and then the top 3 on the home list, which then you start scratching your head a little bit. Because you could, Indy, Tennessee, and then you really got that middle row at home, the Jets, the Panthers, and Seattle that you feel good about. You better take care of business there, and you better steal a couple.
Yeah.
Which you will. And by the way, you won't completely take care of business. You're probably losing to Indianapolis or Tennessee one of the 2 times because that's just the way the league works. But you got to steal one of those or 2 of those home games, like the Chargers and the Rams.
Yep.
Got to be so much better at home, man.
Gotta be so much better.
Gotta be better at home.
I'm gonna tell you what, too. Hey, Jeff Bezos, you better chill out with Cam Ward. Tennessee. Let's get him on a Thursday night primetime game. Jacksonville Jaguars. Travis Hunter. Chill out, Jeff.
I think they've stayed away from that. When's the last time actually the Jags have played Tennessee on Thursday night? It's been a bit.
Been a couple years.
And partly of that is because the NFL said, okay, we're not just throwing anybody on there. They want to ramp up that game, whether it was Fox doing it or it was or now Amazon.
Oh, yeah,
because where you get you got to get a good game.
There was that one year where there was horrible game after horrible. Remember that?
Yeah, it was.
I mean,
I
think that's flexing the Nickelodeon, man. It was bad.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what changed it. People were like, "Oh no, we ain't doing this. We're paying $1 billion for the rights."
Right.
So anyway, the schedule comes out next Wednesday. We'll see. It's always an interesting time for us. It sets our fall.
How many primetime games, Brent? Hamby, what do you got?
I got
6, 7.
I got a Thursday and either a Sunday or a Monday. I'll say 2. I think we'll get 1. Other than
Sunday
Thursday.
Night Football, huh?
Okay, time out. Time out. Do you think you're getting 1 or 2?
We're getting Thursday and either Sunday or Monday. Thursday barely counts.
You're not even going to be able to remember these groomsmen's name if you can't do that.
I said we're going to get one of either Sunday or Monday.
Could be a Sunday. Could be international on a Saturday. Could be Black Friday. We don't know.
I do not think the Jags are getting more than one primetime game. Not a chance.
I think Travis Hunter puts us in.
Travis Hunter puts us into the one category, maybe.
I know.
Like, I'm not sure the Jags are getting any primetime games. You got to remember, like, the league, I feel like the league views the London game as a bit of a primetime game. Like, I know it's not a primetime game, but it's an isolation game. You're the only one playing at the time.
Yeah.
And so I think whether they want to say it out loud or not, I think they do that.
And you get two of those, right? Because we get the home and away.
Well, not this year. No.
Oh, it's just one.
It's just one London game this year.
Gotcha. Okay.
So there's one of those, and I really do think that the schedule maker, and he does this. And it's a wild thing if you've ever seen like stories on the schedule maker. But I think after the draft, they went back in and threw Jacksonville in the mix. Mm-hmm. Like I really think let's try to get. Plus, it's a pretty good schedule. I mean, like the storylines with the Rams, we mentioned Cincinnati. The Chargers could be a great storyline. Like, why not? If you're NBC, you can take Chargers Jags and do something with it. And I don't think usually NBC's begging for Jacksonville. Mm-hmm. But Mike Tirico might be like, I want to go play TPC Sawgrass, and this is a great storyline from a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Right? So I think you have that. The Chiefs certainly lose the Doug Peterson, Andy Reid thing. The Chiefs are going to be on so many other times. I don't think the Chiefs are going to be a primetime game with Jacksonville. The Rams make sense. Now, the Rams make sense maybe for like an ESPN or a Thursday night more than a Sunday night, in my opinion.
Yeah. Because like Sunday night, it's usually like you bring out the heavy hitters for like the Sunday night. It's got to be like the matchup of the week.
Yeah.
And
it's highly doubt they view the Chargers and the Jags that way.
Well, yeah,
but they could because they could really go back in time in that and relive that game. Like TV execs like that stuff.
No, I hear you, but like, and once again, it's going to be better this year. We would hope, but like the Jaguars won 4 games last year. Like, you think they're going to put Jacksonville in the Sunday night spot? Yeah,
I don't. I'm just trying to make a case.
You. Okay.
I don't. I think they're going to put them once on a Thursday night. Mm-hmm. And that might be because Travis Hunter. Keep in mind, you don't have to be in a primetime anymore.
True.
That's not a rule. Like you used to be, like you had to be in a primetime. Everybody gets a chance. That's not the thing. I would not be stunned if the Jags don't get a primetime game.
Oh, I'll be stunned.
Because of Hunter.
Yes.
Okay, so like I said, like if 2 weeks ago, if I said I would not be stunned if the Jags don't get a primetime game, you would agree with me.
Correct, because what Liam Cohen's going to do it for you? Like
no, but you're right. I think Travis Hunter makes it. I think they went back to the Matrix and said, "Oh, we got to get that in there." Mm-hmm. And by the way, Liam Cohen was a big offseason story. It's too bad they're not playing Tampa.
Yeah.
The James Gladstone thing is interesting. I don't think that Baselli's going to carry a lot of national weight here, but Trevor still is Trevor, and I would suspect that they would get him early in the season based on the last couple of years of injuries.
Sure.
So, and there's one other caveat here. We don't know who the London game is yet, right? That hasn't come out, I don't think.
No.
Can you show that again? The slate? The home way? Who's going to be the London game?
Hopefully like the Jets or the Panthers.
I think the Panthers.
Well, so keep in mind, the Jags can protect a game, right? So they can say, well, they don't give a damn about protecting probably any of the AFC South games, I wouldn't think. So they're probably trying to protect the Chargers and the Chiefs game. And they might even be trying to protect
the Jets, right? Just
the Jets game.
People traveling?
In Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Why that one?
Because it's New York.
It's New York. Got a lot of people that live down here. Maybe get some people, in the stands.
Sales, man. Like ticket sales. It's still big.
And also keep in mind, whenever this came out, the Jags didn't have Travis Hunter, and the sales were lukewarm. Mm-hmm. Even on, or really, like if you go right away, and they were getting better even with the Cohen Gladstone thing, but they really hit a new notch recently, I think, with the whole Travis Hunter stuff. So, yeah, I would suspect the London opportunity here would be Carolina. I don't think they like putting division games over there. I don't think it's happened before, but I don't think they do. And man, Seattle and the Rams are interesting because they're coming all the way from the West Coast.
Yeah.
So, but I think those are your options. I think it's going to be either Carolina, Seattle, or the Rams. I really should have dug into this a little bit more and asked some questions because I probably could have already found it out. I mean, I wouldn't tell you, but I could find it out. I just haven't even asked.
Yeah, because see, we used to look at it as playing in England was like a competitive advantage. I don't really feel like that's the case anymore because every team's kind of conditioned now of how they go about things.
And so specifically when you're only playing one.
Correct. So take the home field advantage away from going to England. So then if that's not the case, then I would much rather play the tougher teams in Jacksonville because crowd and everything like that. So out of the Jets, the Seahawks, the Panthers, I mean, who do you think is going to be the worst team out of those three?
Yeah, I think the Panthers.
You think the Panthers? Yeah, I'd probably go with you on that as well.
Again, so I'm not losing the gate with the Jets. See, that's the other reason I take that. If I'm the Jags, I'm pushing Carolina. Because who's coming to watch Carolina?
Yeah.
Right?
They're just going to keep on pounding in Carolina.
But nobody's – I mean, I'm not saying they don't have any fans, but I don't think it's a big – Seattle, by the way, has a big fan base here in Florida. Because when they played in Jacksonville,
Jack's Beach was littered with neon green and blue. Yeah, it was crazy.
Well, that's the thing about the West Coast teams. You don't get if you're a fan, if you live in South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Florida, whatever, and you're a fan of the Seahawks or the Rams or the Chargers, you don't get to see them play. It's expensive to go see them play. So, I can drive 5 hours to Jacksonville to see them play. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Right? So you get a good crowd for those West Coast teams. Yeah, I think Carolina makes a lot of sense here. The other way to look at this, the bad part about Carolina is you do lose your home field advantage. If you don't think it's a huge advantage in London, you're actually leveling the playing field.
You are, but I would much rather have a level playing field against a team like the Panthers as opposed to the Seahawks and the Jets.
Good point. Am I right, though, they protect the KC game? What's the biggest game on the home slate?
Biggest game on the home slate.
What were the fans pissed about if you take it away?
I think KC, right? It's the Chiefs, man.
I think so, too. Get to see Patrick Mahomes play.
Yeah. Taylor Swift in that press box.
Well, that's a fair point, too.
Right.
All right, so how do we end this?
I got one.
What do you got?
Of all teams in the NFL, who is the least likely to get a primetime game? The team with the least amount of juice and intrigue about them.
I would say two teams come to mind even more than the Jags. And definitely the Jags wouldn't be on this list again with Travis Hunter. Mm-hmm. I could argue they wouldn't be on the list with a lot of things, but I think it's Carolina or Arizona.
Oh, I was going to say New Orleans.
Fair.
I was going to say the Saints or even the Browns.
Well, man.
Well, I guess with Shadir,
Browns are a freaking reality show.
Well, yeah, but the regular season.
He's not going to play.
What happens if Sanders isn't going to be... Sanders might not make the team, everybody.
Kenny Pickett's out there.
Well, I get it, but...
Oh, we're going to tune in to watch Kenny Pickett? That's going to bump up the ratings?
They're definitely going to get one.
Yeah, but...
they'll get one, for sure.
But if you're talking about in a broadcast, if the game is 0-0, you can talk about the Browns for days.
That's true.
From Deshaun Watson to Sanders. Saints is a good call. It's a good call.
Because the Cardinals still won 8 games last year.
Yeah, but
I get it. There's nothing going on.
Name me a guy on Arizona outside of Harrison and Kyler Murray.
How do you win 3 games?
Can't even name their head coach.
How do you win 3 games last year and get primetime games? Because you drafted Shadir Sanders? That's what it's going to be? And he's going to be a backup quarterback possibly?
Yeah, but the question from Hamby was who has the least juice.
The question is who's...
Cleveland's not irrelevant.
Okay.
But you guys are right on the Saints. Who do the Saints even have?
Derek Carr.
Yeah, but see, I feel like the Saints
he's going to play.
But I feel like the Saints get prime time just because they'll be in a competitive division. I think their fan base is all right.
Fan base is good.
I always feel like the Saints are always on prime time, even though maybe I'm wrong.
But what's sexy about the Saints?
Nothing. What's sexy about the Browns?
Again,
Mason Graham?
It's not. I wouldn't say sexy. I think the juicy storylines, though, from a national broadcast, storylines that have everybody talking.
Okay.
That's why I wouldn't wait too long either. I'd probably do it closer to the season.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know how much this goes into. I think there were a lot of irrelevant teams last year. Really, because we had a have and have not season in the NFL. Mm-hmm. Had one of the weirdest seasons I feel like I can remember in recent time, where there were too many terrible teams.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, okay, what's relevant about Tennessee?
Cam Ward
now. He makes them relevant. Good call.
Sure.
I think their coach is boring. And I think they're kind of boring.
Yeah. But, dude, it's
I don't
Cam
have
Ward.
Derrick
Like,
Henry. No, you're right.
Starting quarterback.
I'm just saying,
yeah.
you're right. But that's different than last year, but they're terrible. Mm-hmm. I think Indianapolis is really vanilla.
Yeah, they're
very vanilla. Like, what is exciting about Indianapolis?
nothing.
I mean, Anthony Richardson is
that's the
potentially,
story.
but
Yeah.
is he there on week 6 when you put him in prime
But
time?
that's the storyline. Like, if we're talking about Cleveland in the category, then that's the story.
Yeah.
Like, can Anthony Richardson be that dude?
I'll take Giants are Giants because they are, right? Patriots, I think there's enough going on there.
Oh, yeah.
Dolphins obviously have enough to if you go down these divisions, the AFC North is good, so all of them. Houston, I really don't know if Houston's a sexy team with a storyline, but
Still
they're good
division
enough,
winner,
right?
yeah.
They're good.
And then the AFC West, Raiders are the Raiders, right? With Carroll and
But
stuff.
now you
kind
got
of
Carroll, but you got
fascinating.
Genty.
And they got Genty. No, I think that's good. I think I think they're kind of exciting in a unique way because everybody goes young and they're going with a 72-year-old guy. And then who am I missing out there? Chargers, Chiefs.
Denver can be.
Denver.
Denver's
Yeah. Yeah, Denver's Denver. Like they're solid enough to be. I don't know who like the team that is like wow.
Out of that division or in general?
In general, Dallas.
Eagles, I think.
Eagles, Super Bowl champs.
Yeah.
Washington now.
Washington, yeah.
They're going to get on that map. And the Giants are the Giants. Like that whole division is good in terms of like juicy storylines, maybe good teams, but like, oh man, I can't wait to see what happens with that team.
Correct.
Implosion or explosion?
Giants probably,
right?
Yeah. The NFC East is probably the most exciting division.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And has the explosion possibilities.
Because I'm not, like the NFC North, we'll see what McCarthy can do. I think the NFC East is like the must-see TV.
NFC South is a bit boring, if we're being real.
Oh, yeah.
And the NFC North, I think
Kyle Pitts, though.
NFC North's exciting.
Gonna get that Kyle Pitts bump this year.
NFC North is exciting.
Yeah.
Chicago and Ben Johnson. Obviously, Detroit's made themselves very relevant.
Yeah.
Green Bay is Green Bay. And
Minnesota, we'll see.
Well, but Minnesota is a lot with J.J. McCarthy. And yeah, that's a good division. Like the NFC East and the NFC North and the AFC North, to me, are like can't-miss divisions. And I know Cleveland's a little bit of an X factor there, but again, they're kind of like everybody likes the punching bag, too. Hey, let's go fishing when we come back. We'll get into the archives in just a bit as well, but we got some fish to share and some fish tales to tell. Paul Dozier joins us in studio, back from the Bahamas. Oh, that was fun last week in the Bahamas. Well, I'm sure it was more fun for him. It was fun for us, too. We'll be back at Action Sports Jacks 24/7 Network. Most of us know how to throw. But you need to know what to throw. I'm not talking about footballs, baseballs, softballs. We're talking about those items you need to recycle. Republic Services explains it easy. Recycling simplified. 1. Know what to throw. When in doubt, throw it out. 2. Empty, clean, and dry those materials. It takes an extra minute, but it makes a big difference. And 3. Don't bag it. This makes the recycling process faster and more efficient. This is a look at the Republic Services North Florida Recycling Center. You can make this process even more efficient. By utilizing those 3 steps, Republic Services can help you become a better recycler in your home. Learn more at recyclingsimplified.com.
For the game day hustle and every day in between. Juggling my show, Jags Social, to going under the Friday night lights and a social life, it's a daily tournament. But this ride, MVP status. The all-new 2024 Lincoln Nautilus isn't just my car, it's my personal locker room, office on the go, and VIP lounge on wheels. Let's talk tech. My profile remembers everything from customizing my dash display to setting the ambient lighting and my signature scent. And wireless charging, essential for live tweeting scores. Whether I'm packing for a beach day with friends or heading to the gym, there's space for every passion. After dominating all day, this becomes my recovery zone. The massage feature is like having a personal PT on call. Life's a non-stop game, but with this ride, I'm always on my A game. The 2024 Lincoln Nautilus. Drive your passion.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Save 10% off any water heater, plus no trip charge. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. For a limited time, CGC is waiving the trip charge on all related plumbing calls. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
If you look good, you feel good. And the medical professionals here at Ponte Vedra and Aesthetics are here to make you feel your best. I'm on camera every week, and I have a confession to make. I'm not always confident in my appearance. Can you see my dark circles? Is my makeup highlighting my fine lines instead of covering them up? I question it all. So when I found out, or on the south side.
Baker's Sports. It's a hometown business filled with hometown people trying to make you feel right at home.
Chris Conley, Jacksonville University. Walker Wright, class of 2018, West Nassau High School.
Michael Young, Fletcher High School.
Baker's Sports started in a grassroots way and now outfits much of the Southeast.
Will Olive, Mandarin High School. Go Stangs.
High school sports, travel sports, youth sports of all kinds. They are a one-stop shop carrying Nike, Adidas, Under Armour brands, and more.
Vincent Caldes, Oakleaf High School.
Tony Mazzio, Sandwood High School, class of 2002. Samuel Coffrin, Paxton School for Advanced Studies.
Whether it's sports teams on the field or it's your team in the workplace, like our Action Sports Jacks team, and community events like the Dream 18 Golf Tournament, and many others.
Cole Tilley, Hilliard High School.
Reagan Webb, Eagles View Academy.
Look good, feel good, play good with Baker Sports. Custom sports apparel since 1997. Shop with the hometown team at bakersport.com.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austin Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network.
And make sure you check out Nimnick Buick GMC, home of the largest inventory of GMC Sierras in Northeast Florida, Southeast Georgia. And you know what you do? You get that GMC Sierra, and then you pull that boat behind so you can go fishing. That's what happens. Save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierra 1500s. Or 0% financing as well is back. So check out NimnickBuickGMC.com or go to the showroom right off Phillips Highway. Remember, nobody but Nimnick. That's what I say. Got my GMC Sierra. I'm pushing that bad boy right now, by the way, about 150,000 miles on that sucker. That's the most I've driven a vehicle in a long, long time.
Atta baby.
Sounds like you need to head to Nimnick.
I do, and
I
get so itchy, man, when I get over there for that oil change, and I go and I'm like, I'm gonna get a new warranty. I talk myself into it by getting a new warranty. Like, hey, new warranty.
Hey,
but I tell you, my truck has been awesome.
That's good.
Like, knock on wood. I've only put a set of tires on that thing.
No kidding.
That's it.
Nice.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
No issues with my
take care of
GMC
it, maintain
Sierra.
it.
Yeah, and I'm not really sure I take care of it great.
Well,
I mean, I think I do.
Change the oil,
but you're not like hauling like crazy things though either, right? Like you're it's just kind of like a
like I mean,
daily
a lot of highway miles on there, right?
Gotcha.
So I think like that helps.
Yeah.
What's the farthest you've ever driven a car, like in terms of mileage?
Probably to College Station, Texas, for the in Florida. When Texas A&M joined the SEC, it was probably 2011. Will Muschamp was the coach. We hooked up the tailgate trailer and towed it to College Station.
That was a good Will Muschamp year, by the way.
Yeah, we won. We beat Johnny Manziel.
Yeah, I did not phrase that question very well. I meant, like, have you driven a car like 200,000 miles?
Oh, I've had a truck with some mileage on it. I don't keep them that long anymore.
Yeah.
Usually 60,000 miles. I traded in.
Yeah. This is the longest I've kept for a long time.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I was the same way. I'd go like, I put a lot of miles on it. But it was like, I want that warranty. I'm getting
My friend bought my
3 years max.
Yeah, my friend bought my truck. Had 80,000 miles. I drive diesel trucks to pull the boats and stuff. And he just traded it in recently. He had 250,000 miles.
Okay.
Those diesels run a long time.
All right. How about you? I know you've got one out there. It's
we're at 185, 186.
And what
I think
year
right
is
now?
that?
2013.
That's not a truck, by the way. But
Sport wagon they call that.
So just
2013.
Just for reference, you have it's 185,000.
Yes.
2013. Mine's a 2020 and has 100.
I'm sentimental with mine. Yeah.
I drive more than you.
No, for sure. I'm due for a new one, but it's like they don't make them anymore, the CTS wagons. So I'm trying to hang on to it as much as possible. But I've had offers. Nick in the daytime offered to buy it because he likes it. Yeah.
Okay.
I drive 30,000 miles a year on my truck.
You know, like pretty
30,
religiously.
Pretty average. Yeah.
Okay. Good deal. Brent Martineau, Austen Lane, Paul Dozier, back from the Bahamas. Let's go fishing. Presented by Nimnik Buick GMC and Armor Guard Exteriors. How was the Bahamas?
The Bahamas is there. It was good. It was good. I might have tried to explain to you guys a little bit. The grass, the sargassum weed is just so intense down there right now. I've never seen anything like it. It makes it very hard to fish. It's all like as soon as you clear one of your lines and put it back out, there's grass on it again. It's very frustrating. It takes. When you can hang out, when people think of fishing, they think of, you're sitting on the back of this big sport fishing yacht and you're drinking, you got an umbrella in your drink and it's beautiful weather and all the things. Well, Thursday when I called you guys, the weather was okay. It was probably like 3 to 5 foot seas. And we did catch 3 sailfish that day, which was decent, kind of middle of the pack, maybe a little better middle of the pack. The second day, it was 6 to 8 foot seas, terrible weather. We had a chance at a blue marlin that we missed or did not bite. We missed a sailfish. We missed a white marlin. We missed another sailfish.
Man. Wow.
So what happens is...
You were close.
Yeah, we were okay. What happens is that you hook these fish, and they go out there, these fish jump all over the ocean, and the grass is so bad, you get a big clump of grass on your line. And so the fish is going over one way, and the grass is heavy, and you're using light tackle. So you back up, you get the grass off of it, and then you go, and then you get more grass. Then you think the fish is still on there, and half the time he's gone. So you're fighting the grass. It's very frustrating.
That is frustrating.
Very, very. But we were fishing right next to the Catch 23, who is Michael Jordan. And the second day, they were right next to us, and they caught all sorts of. They had a great day and won the daily, and they finished third in the tournament. They won the tournament last year. We were there fishing that tournament last year, and Michael Jordan won top angler.
Huh. So he's actually, it's not just his yacht or boat or whatever, it's him fishing.
He is, I remember when he started, somebody's like, this guy's not going to be able to fish. And I said, you know what, man? If you're as talented and your hand-eye coordination as good as this guy.
And you're competitive.
And you're competitive as hell. Not only is he going to do it, he's going to get to the top. I mean, these are the best fishermen in the world we were fishing against last week, and he and his crew he has accumulated the best crew. Is one of the best crews in the world, and they compete in every tournament. They're at the top of the leaderboard. They don't, you don't win them all, right?
Of course. Yeah.
But they're very consistent and very, very good, and it's very cool.
All right, wow. I understand what makes like a really good basketball player, really good football player. Like, what does that mean when he's become a really good fisherman, or somebody says, like, there's no way he can be? Like, why wouldn't he be able to become?
I don't. You have to have to fish the way we fish is circle hooks, and the way all these guys are fishing is small bait circle hook, and it's called bait and switch fishing. So basically, you want to get the bait to a teaser, which is a bigger bait, and you want to pull the teaser away from the fish, and then you want to leave your bait right there for him. Bait and switch, and so you have to be able to position your bait to get the bite, and then you have to be able to feed the fish properly without letting the fish know. If your natural tendency when you feel something is to hold it and keep it. You put your thumb on it. Well, if you thumb it and the fish feels, you're usually going to spit the bait out.
Yeah.
So there is a real talent to it to be effective at hooking these things, and he's apparently gotten very, very good at it, is what I've heard.
How are you at it?
I'm okay at it. I'm okay. We have a guy that fishes with us, a guy named Tim Lanahan, who is a local here, and he's one of the best. He's one of the best. He's one of the pioneers of this thing. So he's been a good coach over the years. But I'm pretty good at it. We have a good crew. We just had a lot of bad luck. I was up on the bridge most of the tournament shagging grass off the teasers. Truly,
Yeah.
that's why I had to go, because Captain's looking at me like, get off the damn phone. We got work to do here. We're towing around grass. We got.
Yeah.
He's getting mad at us.
Yeah, for sure.
We appreciate.
Sorry about that, Paul.
No, it's okay.
Well, you said he was a pioneer. How new is this method, like the bait and switch stuff? Like,
we've been fishing that way for probably 15 or 20 years. It may be longer than that, but
that's still relatively new.
The way you used to catch blue marlin is you pull big lures and big reels, big rods and reels, and heavy tackling. It was more like a snag and drag type thing. And now it's more hands on. And Tim's listening. I told him I was going to give him a shout out. So, but no, he's excellent at it. He won the Bahamas Billfish Championship twice, 10 or 15 years ago on different teams, and he was a professional mate that truly did pioneer a lot of this stuff. He and another guy named Mike Fulgham and Captain Glenn Cameron, they were some of the first ones to go down there, because it used to be everybody went down there with a big tackle, and then these guys came here with this light tackle. Everybody says, what are they doing with these little rods and reels? And then they went out there and kicked all their tails. So,
wow.
Pretty cool. Now everybody emulates what they were doing 15 years ago.
Wow. First place gets what in this tournament? How big is the tournament?
I think he won $265,000. Maybe
he
a little
needs
more.
it, so that's good.
More, maybe no. Jordan didn't get that much last year. I think he won about $400, but a guy boated a blue marlin, a 464 pounder, and I think he won $200,000 or $300,000. And I sent you that picture of that marlin that was caught out here today in the blue water tournament out of St. Augustine, and they have a kill category in that. It's got to be 99 inches to the fork of the tail, and this one was apparently 95, just short. That's a nice fish. That's about a 300 pounder we're going to see a picture of in a minute. But watch Facebook, follow Northeast
This
Florida.
is this morning.
This is today off of St. Augustine, and the 4 Reel is the name of the boat. Hayden Englert, his dad Kurt, they're fishing in a center console out there, and they caught this blue marlin. And like I said, they measured it to see if it was big enough to bring in, and it was just short. But it wouldn't surprise me this weekend if somebody, today, tomorrow, or Saturday, if somebody does boat a blue marlin. If they do, I'll let you guys know so we can get a crowd down there to see it.
Yeah, that'd be great. That is the water looks good down there, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, there's probably 65 miles offshore of St. Augustine, and
is that a big tournament?
Yeah, they did a really good job. I was down there last night for the captain's meeting, and I think they got 30 or 40 boats, which is a lot for a way offshore tournament this time of year.
Paul, when you got a blue marlin like that, like do they travel like in groups? Like if there's one, will there be like a bunch of them by each other, or is it just like kind of like a lone wolf? There's one, and that's okay.
There can be. There can be a couple. There's not going to be a whole bunch of them. Maybe two. Maybe sometimes, occasionally, you hear of a triple header of blue marlin. Our other good friend, Captain Drew Castle, this morning on the Ringleader, he caught a triple header of sailfish. The sailfish are known to travel in packs more than the blue marlin. The blue marlin, if they are, sometimes there'll be a big female and a small male. In blue marlin, and a lot of fish, the bigger fish are the females.
Gotcha.
So the bigger, more dominant fish are the ladies. Our ladies are probably more dominant, but hopefully they're not. Hopefully they're not bigger than us, right?
Amen.
That does set the world on a different axis.
Yeah.
The blue marlin.
Oh, if someone's bigger than me, more power to you. You'll be dominant then. Yeah, man.
Very well said. I think that should be on a T-shirt too somewhere. Paul Dozier with us. Let's go fishing. Presented by Nimick Buick GMC, Armor Guard exterior. And how about we take a look at some of the pictures sent in, and you can help walk us through this. Hamby, lead us. What do you have today? And sports at actionnewsjacks.com, the place to send them. Spread the word. And we're getting fish from all over the place. A couple new ones yesterday, some left over from last week that we didn't get to. So we had a nice response. So we'll keep sending them in as you fish. and give us some of your best shots, and we'll give you a shout-out here on the show. What do you have, Hampy?
All right, we're going to start with the 10-year-old named Mac Brandon who caught this guy.
Oh, nice redfish. Really nice one. Yeah, that's a slot redfish. That's a good one.
That's pretty cool because it looks like he's with Grandpa and a nice little moment. Right? That's what it's all about, Paul Dozier.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Those guys are biting right now, I hear. I hear it's as good as it's been in years.
Really?
They cut the bag limit down from 2 fish to 1 per person, and it seems to really be making a difference. And, we have so many people coming into our area, and everybody buys a boat and everybody goes fishing, and you think if you cut the bag limit in half, it makes some sense. Now, they've overstepped their boundaries on the red snapper offshore, but this seems to be effective in working. So.
And why are they biting now more than because of that?
I just think there's more fish.
Just more fish.
I think there's more fish, and we haven't had a lot of rain until last night.
Yep.
So when you don't get a lot of rain, the water clarity is very good. When you get a lot of rain, the water gets muddy and the fishing's not as good. So it might slow down a little bit over the weekend with all this rain we're supposed to have, but our yards need the rain.
Yeah, they do.
For sure.
What else you got, Hamby?
All right, this is Andrew here with a little trifecta.
Oh wow, man, Snook. Dang. Snook, where is this? Is this local? Man.
I think so because he was watching last night and sent it in.
Wow.
When I teased it on the TV, he sent it in. So
wow. So we have a growing snook population here that hasn't been here. This is like the last 10 years and maybe even less. But snook are primarily a central South Florida fish. They're a little bit sensitive to the cold.
Okay.
So we were worried when we had that really cold couple weeks this winter. A few of them floated up, but for the most part, it looks like there's a bunch of them. There's been a few being caught, but it's good to see that. And they're excellent eating fish. And I have not caught a lot of snook. I've caught a few of them in Fort Pierce. I've never caught one in these waters. My son, Bradley, actually caught one. He was down fishing off a dock in St. Augustine and caught a little snook last summer. But they've got a very small slot. They're going to be like 26 to 31 inches, so there's a very small size limit to keep them. But that gentleman right there caught 3 perfect ones. And they're excellent eating. Very white meat.
Let's just clarify, too. Andy sent this in. He could have caught this in South Florida. I have no idea. He didn't say exactly where he caught it.
It kind of looks like it's not crystal clear water for sure.
Yeah, so it could be up here.
Could be right here, yeah.
All right.
We got Matt Harcourt. Says he got this was taken in Chickapit Channel.
Oh boy,
is that how you say that? Chickapit. I was curious.
Chickapit. Yeah, okay. I believe so. That is.
I didn't know if it was Chickapee or somebody.
That is a sail cat. Is what we call that.
A sail cat.
A sail
That's
cat.
what he said. Yeah, sail cat.
That's a catfish.
He thought this was a cool shot, so he said it.
Yeah, it's a cool shot. You can see that thing will hurt you now.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's got spines on him that if he gets a hold of you, you're gonna wish he had. He's kind of like a stingray.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but apparently I've never eaten a sail cat, but apparently sail cats are edible. The gaff topsail cat, which is the more common catfish, are not edible. They're gross.
Are the spines by the cheeks as like the regular ones?
They come out the side. The pec fins, and then there should be one on his dorsal fin.
Gotcha. Okay.
Are those? Is that like normal size?
That looks like a pretty nice one there.
Yeah,
looks like a pretty nice size one.
All right.
All right. We got Ella Grace Rayberg.
Oh, there you go. That's the Jacksonville Kingfish tournament last year, the junior angler portion. That's Captain Chip Davis right there, who is the MC for that tournament, and that's a nice king mackerel right there. That's
that's like a little year old. Where else have we got going?
This is, I believe, her parents sent this in.
Oh, there you go.
Sheepshead?
Sheepshead, yep, from the El Cheapo.
There you go, the El Cheapo.
El Cheapo Sheepshead tournament. I think we may have talked about that before.
We did.
The El Cheapo is the largest sheepshead tournament in the world, and we have some big. We have several of the largest. We have 2 of the largest kingfish tournaments in the world here. We have the largest wahoo tournament in the world and the largest sheepshead tournament in the world right here. So
man, that's wild, isn't it?
It's pretty cool. Northeast Florida, man.
That is pretty cool. And I know some of that's you're doing.
Well, a couple of them maybe.
Yeah, maybe a couple of them, which is cool. By the way, Old School Kingfish Shootout coming up in about 5 weeks.
5 weeks from Saturday.
Yeah.
It's going to be here before we know it. They're catching king mackerel off the Jacksonville Beach Pier already, which is extremely early. Again, the lack of rain, the water's been clear, a little bit of east winds cleaned the water up. The water's in the mid or upper 70s on the beach, and the bait's there. and the fish are there already. So it should be a great year for Old School, hopefully.
OldSchoolKingfish.com, by the way, a place to go, and that's one we'll be talking about a lot over the next month and how you get to be a part of it. Really cool tournament where you can be small boat, big boat, any age, and have a chance to win that sucker.
I had a guy call me this morning from Pensacola who's going to come fish the Old School. We have people travel from all over to fish the Old School, so it's cool.
And there's some new bonus.
Traveling bonus.
For a traveling bonus for that this year. So, again, check it out, oldschoolkingfish.com. We'll talk more with Paul about that in the coming weeks. Did we leave any out? We got a couple more, Hamby?
Yeah, I want to we end with Spencer Brogdon. He sent a few in. I'll show you two. We'll start with this one right here.
Yeah, Spencer, I don't know Spencer personally. I don't think. I probably met him along the lines, but Spencer is a excellent surf fisherman and pier fisherman. He is like the guy at the Jacksonville Beach Pier. I follow him on Instagram and Facebook and see all these pictures, and they have a pier tournament, and I would invite him to send us the information on the pier tournament. It's cheap, it's inexpensive, and it lets the kids go out and the families go out and fish on the pier and have a little fun. And I think Angie Subs gives away a gift card for first place or something like that.
Good deal.
Nice.
That's a really nice whiting, and that's a really nice black drum and a even nicer sweatshirt.
I knew I was going. I was like, that was a very good pivot right there. I knew you were going with the gator shirt.
That's a nice drum. That's a very, very, very good eating fish right there. So,
what time of day would a tournament like that they do at the pier be?
I would imagine they do like 7 to 11 in the morning. If I had to guess.
On like weekends?
Yeah, probably on a Saturday morning if I had to guess.
Oh, the reason I asked, I was like, hey, let's go do the show from there.
Yeah, it looks nice, man.
But not on a Saturday or Sunday, most likely.
Especially the way the show's been going with the streaming too, Brent. Maybe we want to stay a little more to home base.
Yeah, I don't really think that matters. I don't think Hamby can control it.
Okay.
Hamby right now, he's the that thumb is not working as well as Michael Jordan.
Hamby's thumbing it. It's
actually not his fault.
He's got heavy thumb.
It's not his fault.
Heavy hands, Paul.
Yeah, I hear you.
Daniel says, I stepped on a sail cat and it made my foot foot swell up huge, I think is what he was trying to say.
Yeah. You don't want to mess with one of those guys. So everybody out there, this Blue Water tournament in St. Augustine's going in. There's 30 or 40 boats. They're fishing today and tomorrow. A few boats will fish Saturday, but if you're in the St. Augustine area, the Northeast Florida Marlin Association's at Comanche Cove, just before the Volano Beach Bridge. They'll be weighing fish. There's live music, entertainment, and you get to see some big fish and beautiful boats come in. They fish till 3:30, so probably 5 to 6 o'clock. There'll be some nice fish to see, some nice boats. Come down there and have a drink. I'll be around there. I get to judge the pictures of the billfish.
Cool.
That's
so how does that go? Like, what goes into that for you? I mean, just beauty in the eye of the beholder, or you got some metrics?
No, you have to like that video little picture we saw there. That's their video to prove that they caught it. Type thing. I'm just looking to see if anything's been caught since we've been on here. They post. Like I said, the ringleader caught 3 sailfish, the 4-reel caught that blue marlin. Hey Honey caught a sail, Optimum caught 2 sails, and Pez Vela caught a sail, and Contentment Blues has caught a pair of sails this morning. So fishing's pretty good.
Yeah, I was going to say, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of mahi and a lot of blackfin tuna bite in the last few days, so there should be some meat fish to see. And again, if you're in the area, you want to come down and see some big fish, bring the kids, it's cool.
Let me ask you one more question before we let you go. Paul Dozier, Let's Go Fishing segment with presented by Nimick Buick GMC and Armor Guard Exteriors. We do have a lot of weather in and out right now. I know you said it gets muddy, but maybe next week it gets muddy because of all washing everything up. How about fishing in the rain? Like, do people care to? I mean, I know storm-wise, but do you mind fishing in the rain, or you just rather not?
You know, I'd
like golfing in the rain.
I'd rather not, but you know, sometimes you have to. I mean, we've all done it. You know, if you fish long enough, you're going to fish in the rain. I've caught some fish in the rain. I'd rather fish on a nice, beautiful 75-degree day, but rain, fish are already wet, right?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, you're getting kind of sloppy out there anyway. I guess it just depends how much rain.
You got to have a rain. You know, I carry a rain jacket. You know, on the boat and rain gear. A lot of these guys, if you look in that video, this guy's got foul weather gear on. It might be a little choppy out there. And a lot of guys wear foul weather gear just to keep the spray from getting them soaking wet and stuff.
And this kind of pattern right now, it looks like we're seeing storms in the afternoon, so you can still get out in the morning.
That's right. And it should be nice and calm in the morning. It'll take a couple days for the the water to mud up from that rain. And if it doesn't, if we don't get, like, we're supposed to get 4 to 6 inches of rain, I believe. If we get that, it might change the inshore fishing for a few days. But the inshore fishery is used to the afternoon thunderstorms so I mean it's not going to just ruin it. Like, you're not going to catch anything. It just might not be quite as good.
All right, have a good weekend of fishing. Paul Dozier, appreciate it, man. Good to see you again.
Good to see you guys.
Check out, by the way, Armor Guard Exteriors, 904-762-7779, or check them out at gutterhelmetofnorthflorida.com. We'll be back. Brent Austen Show on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. Noon hour ahead. The judge will enter the building soon.
Let's go.
That is on the way. Austin's new favorite segment outside of Let's Go Fishing. Send your fish to sports@actionnewsjacks.com.
There's a saying in sports: you can't win them all, but you can win a lot with good folks on your team. Like that one painter, First Coast. It's tough to beat the sun in Florida, so your home fades. It's tough to beat that HOA when they come calling. Beat the sun, beat the HOA with that one painter, First Coast. And it's a good time to do it. Less rain to work around, and painting in mild temperatures is perfect. After all, the paint bonds to the surface so much better. Give that one painter, First Coast, a call at 904-417-3557, or look them up at first-coast.thatonepainter.com. Fast estimate, guidance on color and HOA requirements, and the highest quality job you'll find anywhere. Be a big winner in your neighborhood with that one painter, First Coast, on your team.
People helping people. It's at the core of what Alive Credit Union is all about, and it's been that way for over 70 years. From the start in 1954 to today, the mission remains to inspire financial wellness and give you a financially fit lifestyle. Alive Credit Union and its employees are committed to not only serving their valued members, but also our community here in Northeast Florida. I had a chance to see that commitment firsthand as Alive partnered with our Action Sports Jacks 24/7 team to bring you Armada men's and women's soccer broadcasts. Inside the 18, it is a shot, and it's a goal! Chloe Chivers! And that connection to the community continues with Alive Credit Union's support of the Police Athletic League of Jacksonville. Alive Credit Union's commitment to our community also involves serving the financial needs of all first responders through the recent merger partnership with City and Police Federal Credit Union. Join the community and become a member of Alive Credit Union today. Find out the many ways you can be inspired in financial wellness at alivecu.coop.
It's fast-paced.
Hands off on first down, and there goes Edward Vander.
High fly.
Wide open receiver. It's caught.
Action-packed. Weekend fun. Fun for the entire family. It's the Jacksonville Sharks. I feel like anybody could play in this league. It's gotta be like backyard football, right?
Whoa! This ain't the Arena League, Brent. This is the indoor league, and they play defense here.
It's a lot safer to just watch the professionals play. And watching is a lot of fun. A party in the stands at the arena for kids and adults. And it's indoors. Get out of the heat for the summer and watch the Sharks shine inside. Jacksonville Sharks football, season number 15. It's the Drive for 5, and it's still alive. Get your tickets at jacksharks.com.
Are you about to graduate high school and haven't decided on what you want to do when you get done? Well, one option is to apply to become a student in the Electrical Training Alliance of Jacksonville. Their program offers structured classroom and online training, along with on-the-job training so that you can earn while you learn. Still not convinced? The folks at ETA Jacks are a tuition-free 4-year apprenticeship program. There is no tuition and no student debt. Just pay for your books and your fees. That's it. Now, speaking of pay, students, they start off making $40,000 per year, including benefits, and they graduate, get this, making over $80,000 per year, including those sought-after benefits. Now, that sounds pretty good to me, and if that sounds good to you, it should check off a lot of boxes. So head on over to etajacks.org and apply by May 15th. Again, the website right here, etajacks.org. Don't wait, apply today.
Grab some friends and go to a restaurant or head out for a drink and some conversation. Watch your favorite team play on the big screen. Or how about play some games? You can do all of that in one night at Best Bet. Each location has a different vibe, its own personality, like here at the original Best Bet in Orange Park. When you walk through these doors, everybody knows your name. And here in St. Augustine, it's the newest location. Play some poker. How about the table games? And don't forget about Ace's Sports Bar and Grill. And then there's the Jacksonville location right here on Monument Road. It's the biggest poker room in the state of Florida. Maybe you'll find yourself a seat right here at the final table. Best Bet, where you can have the best of times. And that makes you always go home a winner. Try any of the 3 locations, and you can always visit bestbetjacks.com.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austin Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Jarian Jones, happy birthday, young man. I really like Jarian Jones. Be interesting to see how he factors into all this. The secondary is going to be kind of fascinating. Mm-hmm. Travis Hunter, Jarian Jones, Jordan Lewis, Murray, obviously Tyson. Did I name everybody? Ransaw. And then what you got coming back in from a Darnell Savage to it's a pretty interesting group. Again, I think we know the names. So when you know the names, you're like, okay. But where are the studs? Right? Like that's the next level question. Could Jarian Jones turn into a stud? I do think it's a position where there's an acclimation to that. And like Jarian Jones showed some things when you flash. Now can you get more consistent flashing this year? And then do you become, like, even in year 3, like a heck of a player? Like, I'll take, like, Snead.
Okay.
I don't think from the jump he was great, if I remember. Like, I feel like he earned that contract. I'll give you another guy, like A.J. Boye, going all the way back. Boye, like, really came on in his contract year. Like, he was good, but then he came, like, really jumped on. And
but then you have guys like Sauce, Stingley that kind of came out the
right away.
gates
Ramsey.
running.
Yes.
Surtain.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But those, I feel like, Austin, those are like top 10, top 15 picks most of the time. When you take a Jarian Jones, who's, what was he, a third-round guy? I think he was.
Yeah.
I don't know where Snead was drafted, but these feel like second, third-round guys that kind of evolve into really good players.
What was J.C. Horn? Who's like the richest secondary guy on the market?
I feel like he might have been a top 10 pick.
But like, was he always like legit, or did he kind of like find a groove? You know what I'm saying?
No, it's a good question. Pro Bowler last year, he was. Look at that, he was the 8th pick. I thought that's what he was. In 21.
Okay.
Well, nah, but that's like telling you the story. Let's. It's hard to tell because they were so bad.
Dude, I know he's made one Pro Bowl last year. Like it's hard to tell.
But so, and this is the funny thing about corners. He makes the Pro Bowl last year with 68 tackles, 5 tackles for losses, and an interception. 1.
Yeah.
So, like, he had 1 interception his rookie year. He had 3 interceptions his second year. I think the key with him is he's been hurt.
Okay.
Because he played 13 games in 22, but in his rookie year he played 3. In 23 he played 6. So he's had 2 years where he's really played. That was 22, and he had 3 picks that year, and then last year he was a Pro Bowler.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's such an odd position. Like, again, nobody's talking about Carolina. We're not watching Carolina. My guess is he's been pretty good, but he had a Pro Bowl season without a lot of picks. Like, it's just not a statistic category.
No.
So anyway,
if they're not throwing to him for a reason, like that's the ultimate compliment.
Yeah, true. I think Jarian Jones fascinated me because I think he brings. You talk about the juice. He's got that. You got to have the game. Mm-hmm. Got to have the game to go along with that juice. How much he plays, how much he earns playing, how much Travis Hunter factors into that, how much he moves around. I mean, they've got a bunch of guys that can play nickel. You think Travis Hunter will fit in a nickel package somewhere? I think. You got Jordan Lewis, who was one of the best in the league last year, and you really have Jarian Jones, who I think they drafted, at least the bulky regime drafted, to be more of a nickel corner. And, by the way, got Darnell Savage, who they said, hey, you can play inside that nickel spot sometime, too.
Yeah.
A lot of guys at nickel, man. Mm-hmm. So, hey, let's get to the Duval Daily here on a I got roll of the eyes. What, you didn't hear that in the commercial break? He's been getting ready for a lot of stuff. Can you handle the Duval Daily, or are you afraid of the Duval Daily and what it's going to do to the system?
I'm afraid of it.
Hamby.
I'm slightly afraid of it.
This is where the show went crazy last week.
Hey, here we go.
Oh, that was a fist pump from Hamby.
There we go.
I'm talking about a little place called
With Brent Austen.
Let's talk money, Brent. It's been 3 months since the Florida Times-Union reported that the 103rd Street Walmart in Jacksonville sold a $1 million a year for life spectacular top prize winner, and that lady has finally been announced. She has reached the 90-day grace period, and she is none other than 54-year-old Natalie S. Ramos, 54 years old, out of Jacksonville. Chose to receive her winnings as a one-time lump sum payment of $16 million, according to the lottery. Congratulations to her. And you thought we were done, though. Last night, the Florida Lottery announced that there was an $8.75 million jackpot lottery ticket sold Wednesday morning to the Florida Lottery. Drawing was sold at Jacksonville Beach Store at J&J Food, 632 Beach Boulevard. The $2 ticket is going to net you $8.75 million unless you want to take it in one lump sum. The winner has yet to come forward. I think there's also a 90-day grace period for the winner as well. A lot of lottery talk, Brent, going on in Jacksonville.
Well,
there you go.
Well, by the way, that's impressive. Like to have that many. You said 90-day period to
Grace
go get
period.
the ticket?
I think so, yeah, kind of like.
I thought that's it.
Say who you are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know it was that short. I thought it was longer than that. I thought you had like a year or 6 months. I feel like we've talked about this in the past. But is that eight something million? And the other one was $1 million? And remember, it was 2 years ago, I think now. It's been a while. Maybe it's two. Maybe it was last year. I don't know. I think it's been 2 years.
Yeah.
And maybe it was just last year. Remember it was the $1 billion guy?
Yep.
Yeah.
That was
Publix and AB, I think.
Publix in Atlantic Beach.
So,
that's right.
So the first one I mentioned, it was $1 million for life, or else you take the lump sum, which was $16 million.
Oh, okay.
And the second one was $8.75 million.
Wow. $1 million for life or $16 million up front. What are you taking?
Oh, $16
She's
million
54 years old.
$16 million up. I don't care if I'm 20 years old. I'm taking $16 million up front. You know? Like, 'cause I assume for life isn't like for the rest of your life. Like, I don't think if she's like 54 years old and she lived to be 100, she wouldn't get $50 million. Like, I'm sure there's some kind of like stipulation, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like we get life in prison. It's not really life, you know, like it's like 20-something years, isn't it?
I don't know.
Oh, come on, Brent. You watch SVU?
Yeah, I don't.
I don't. And I know this.
Well, I think there's like life without parole. And then there's
All right.
life.
That's
I'm
going to
not
be a
sure.
Google.
I'm not sure.
What is life in prison?
You know,
Well,
it's funny-
speaking of life in prison,
It's funny you hold on a second.
That would have been, it's a segue of all
That is a good
segues.
segue. That is a good segue. But you jumped the segue. You got too antsy. You didn't. I mean, we're still on this. I've actually asked this before because I'm interested in it. Speaking of, I'm going to marry these two things together. So, like when somebody, you know how somebody might win $100 million lawsuit because of an accident, and I'm like, well, do they get that? And you would think, right? Like they get $100 million.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And the answer is really no, they don't. From what I understand. That's what I've been told. Like they don't get that kind of money. Now they get some money, and sometimes I guess like it's just like I mean, who the hell has $100 million?
Right.
Right? So like where does that come from? It's not like it's going to come out of taxes. So I guess a lot of the time, and I don't know every bit, but I have asked a lawyer this question. I'm like, hey, somebody just won a $300 million. Do they actually get that kind of money? It's like, no, not even close. Like it's really just a headline in the newspaper and a conclusion to the trial of guilt or whatever, or settlement.
Yeah.
But I guess it's probably case by case, but I think it's like if you sue me for $100 million, you probably ain't getting $100 million.
Yeah.
Because I ain't got it.
Yep. Well, yeah, lawyers make some money too.
Well, the lawyer will get some out of it too, but I'm just telling you, they're not getting. Lawyer isn't get. If he gets 35%, he's not getting $35 million.
So life sentences they vary by state, but the national average for a life sentence is 15 years, with the possibility of parole.
Because of parole.
I think so. Yeah.
Because of parole. Like so, if you're you do your time.
Yeah, but if you get a life sentence, it doesn't mean you're going to jail for life. It means like 15 years.
That's interesting. I guess I never factored that in. Same kind of way, right? Like,
shout out to Miss Hittner, taught me that in criminalistics class my senior year of high school.
Criminalistics class.
Oh, we had a criminalistics class. It was the best class ever. We had to do like a murder profile. So I had Ed Gein, one of Wisconsin's. Well, not the greatest. Wisconsin.
There's many.
Small town Wisconsin, man. But so I had Ed Gein, the movie Psycho's based off him. The movie Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Don't get it twisted. It didn't happen in Texas. Happened in Tri-County, Wisconsin.
Wow.
So I had I did stories about him, and then we also had like this whole thing where it was like a CSI case where every student in the class got assigned like a role. So I was like the attorney, but we had like detectives. We had criminalistics. We had everything. Oh, dude, and like it ended with me and my best friend going against each other. He was the defense team, and I was like the prosecution. And it ended. It was a 3-day thing that we had to do in class.
That's wild.
Yeah, and I won.
That's fun. You won it.
Yeah, I was
Forget
popular.
about debate team. Let's do that.
The only reason I won though, because the judge. So we had a girl in our class was the judge, and the judge was the ex-girlfriend of the defense of my best friend. And she hated him, didn't end on good terms. So like she kept on telling him like, she threatened to hold him in contempt. And oh, dude, it was the best. I'm pretty sure it's on video too. I think
that's about what happens on this show. Casey doesn't like me very much.
Oh,
so
I was
about to happen. How
dude,
about the segue now, Hamby? Segue now.
All right.
So I feel like Casey's going to come out of that thing.
Yeah,
like, is that the Undertaker?
He's playing Limp Bizkit.
The Honorable Judge Casey.
I liked it better. I liked it better with the Limp Bizkit playing. What's up, Casey?
Oh my gosh!
Get up!
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, we gotta get up.
All right.
Sorry.
Ah, damn.
Thank you.
Can you make a sit down?
Can we request that we don't have to get up anymore? Because I keep smoking my head on the lights, man. Like, with all due respect.
Sorry about it.
All right, what we got today?
A lot of stuff. First off, can we hear me?
Yeah, I think you can hear pretty good.
Yeah.
Sounds good. I got the thumbs up from Justice Hamby, so we're in good shape.
Yep.
I also had forensics, by the way.
But hang on, can the stream hear him? Yeah, Brent, I would move it closer so the stream can hear him.
I'm going to angle it a little bit.
Yeah, Casey, you might have to get a little closer just so the stream can hear you. Like we can hear. I'm sorry, I'm trying to help the show.
No, I think Hamby can see that on his levels.
This isn't a good start for you guys. I'm not going to lie. You're standing up.
I just pointed the microphone more.
I have a concussion.
More microphone directional there.
I also had forensic science. It's similar to what you were just explaining.
Yeah.
Best class ever.
Isn't it?
Best class.
So much fun.
You just make sure you yell, Judge.
All right, damn! This is not starting well for you.
Oh, man.
Anyway, all right.
Heard that loud and clear.
Good. We got 4 topics. Most have to do with sports. One does not. Yep. We'll get to that when we get to that. Whoever wants to start can start. Actually, won yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Brent, you'll start.
I've been winning.
Not make it, take it.
You can take either side of this argument, whichever you choose. But the topic is this. Outside of Travis Hunter, will 2 rookies start for the Jacksonville Jaguars to open the season?
To open the season, will 2 rookies start? All right, ready?
Yeah, go. You don't have to say ready. This is court. You go when I tell
3,
you to go.
2, 1.
That's why that was born. I forgot.
Yeah, I remember that.
I do. All right, so Jags don't have a second-round pick. We go to Ransaw, Milam, Tootin are the primary possibilities here for the Jaguars to have starters in their draft outside of Travis Hunter. And I would suspect in game 1, that will not be the case. I think the Jags offensive line is all set. I think a lot of people like Milam to contribute. I don't think he's beating any of those guys out early on, at the very least. Maybe he gets a chance due to injury down the road, is able to hold that spot, but I don't predict he will be doing that in the early going. I think Tootin is used and will be a valuable piece, and he will kind of like last year we say with Bucky Irving, right? Gradually maybe get more time depending on health and how those other guys do in ETN and Bigsby, but not right away. It's ETN and Bigsby's job to lose in the opener. And Ransaw, I think he's got a lot of traffic to get through. They also had a free agent signing to come in. I think they will be primarily special teams before he will start at the safety position. So I would say no, the Jaguars will not have a starter outside of Travis Hunter in game one.
Your rebuttal.
I think if the Jaguars don't have a starter outside of Travis Hunter in game one, then what are we talking about for this organization, for this regime, for James Gladstone? You won 1, 2, 3, 4 games last year. And you mean to tell me through this draft, we're supposed to say, we'll see with this draft, James Gladstone comes from the Rams, that you don't have any other talent that you drafted to be a starter on a 4-win team from last year? Like, let's look at the list real quick. You got Caleb Branshaw. Okay, guy's going to be playing out of position a little bit, played corner in college. Now he's a safety. I hope, at least with his speed, per se, that they can somehow ingrain him in some packages. So maybe he's not like your starter, bona fide starter, but maybe a nickel, you bring him in. Wyatt Millum, do we have supreme confidence in this offensive line from last year? Because I don't. So if that's the case, then Millum better at least be competing for a starting spot. And then with Tootin, let's be honest right now, Tank Bigsby isn't going to be the starter, okay? He's going to be your third down, well, you're kind of like your goal line back. So it's between Travis Etienne and Tootin. Who's to say Tootin doesn't come out right away and press like Bucky Irvin did, and Liam Cohen goes, you know what, Tootin? You're getting all the reps here. You're the starter. There will be more than one starter in Travis Hunter. There better be.
So, Hamby, I trust you to make the correct decision here. I do just want to point out this imbecile in the gray shirt. While the other guy was making his argument, he was agreeing with him. I don't know if you caught that.
I did. There was a couple head nods there.
Also was saying the offensive line wasn't good last year, and Brent's like, I just want to take it in that he may have been agreeing with the other argument.
But it doesn't mean that he's going to start.
Did I ask you to speak? Justice Hamby, what do you got?
I think there was a chance that I'm not sure the agreeing defendant understood properly the question that has to be 2 starters in addition to Travis Hunter. So for that reason, I am going to side with Brent. Austen was put into a corner, and he did a whale of a job, but I got to side with Brent on this one.
Well, he never named his 2 starters.
Hey!
I gave you 3 possibilities. It's the kangaroo court.
Well, this is a mess. All right. So I guess Brent gets that one, even though I called him an imbecile. All right. Austin,
and he agreed with me. Cool.
Austin,
right,
you'll start on this one.
Yeah.
George Pickens.
Yep.
He would not do well in court because he may or may not be insane.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, he was traded yesterday to the Cowboys. Which wide receiver 2 will have the bigger season? George Pickens, now on the Cowboys, or Travis Hunter on the Jaguars?
Ooh. All right. I'm taking Travis Hunter 6 days a week, twice on Sundays. What has Brian Schottenheimer really showed us? That his capabilities to run an offense. I do trust Dak Prescott. He can get George Pickens the ball, and one would think that if George Pickens doesn't get the ball, there's going to be hell to pay. He's going to cause some controversy in the locker room. But on the other point, look what you sacrificed to get Travis Hunter. All right? What did you give up for George Pickens? A 3rd-round pick? Yeah, sit behind CeeDee Lamb and have a great time. Travis Hunter's got to come out and produce right away because, well, number one, you said he was gonna. You said he was gonna change the game of football. That's what James Gladstone said, quote for quote. So I better be seeing Travis Hunter at least get, 10 targets a game, or else what are we talking about? So I think Travis Hunter has the more successful season with a better coach, with more at stake and more expectation than George Pickens.
There's a lot of expectation on Travis Hunter to deliver, but he's also got a lot more on his plate than George Pickens. Pickens can now settle in where the expectation on Travis Hunter is so large. Like, can we even keep it in full perspective for a rookie? Like, if he only has 60 catches for 750 yards, 4 touchdowns, is that satisfying? He's not going to have like 6 picks most likely. So where's his impact coming? I think George Pickens is set up beautifully. CeeDee Lamb is the money guy. CeeDee Lamb is the guy on the Dallas Cowboys. This helps, obviously, Dak Prescott and everybody else. The domino effect for Pickens to impact the Dallas Cowboys and make them jump up from what they've been to potentially get in the likes of the Philadelphia Eagles or even now the Washington Commanders, I think is more impactful than Travis Hunter from a win-loss standpoint for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Justice Hamby?
I was with Brent until the last point. I don't think it's a bigger win-loss impact. I think Travis Hunter is a bigger win-loss impact for us than Pickens is with the Cowboys. Austen wins because of his point of what they gave up. So it's 1-1.
Ooh. I like it. I like it a lot.
I don't agree with me either.
What? The whole segment's down the drain. All right. Next one. You guys may or may not have discussed this. If you did, pretend like you didn't. Top One Fantasy put out a tight end ranking for fantasy football this season. Evan Ingram at number 5 on that ranking. Brent, you will start here. Is the biggest mistake in the James Gladstone era them releasing Evan Ingram, who is thought of, at least on this article, if you're top 5, I would think you may be able to make the argument blue chip player.
Oh.
Anytime.
Gathering thoughts. Loading. Yeah, the biggest mistake James Gladstone has made thus far is letting Evan Ingram go. Yeah, I think the domino effect of the locker room, the respect of the locker room, the impact of his production. Age certainly comes into play. Chess piece comes into play. But if you can play, right? You don't just try to stick every scheme and everything to a player. We talk about all the time. You've got to, adjust things to players who can really play. And this guy can. He's a mismatch nightmare across the league. He's had really good seasons. We just did this yesterday on the show that of all the positions that they lost, you can argue that they've replaced aging Morse, aging Sheriff. Okay, they get a couple guys in their prime that are a little bit younger. Maybe McCarry and Hainsey can play better. Okay, you lose Christian Kirk. Well, Travis Hunter is a nice change from. That's a good place to land rather than Christian Kirk, even though we thought that one might be a loss. Brenton Strange is a nice player, but there's a lot that we don't know about him. And while he could be a better scheme fit, he is not going to outproduce Evan Ingram. We know that. He is not catching the amount of passes that Evan Ingram caught the last couple of seasons. And then you go with the veteran experience, the trust for Trevor Lawrence, and the impact in the locker room. Yeah, the biggest mistake of the James Gladstone era so far is definitely Evan Ingram.
So Evan Ingram, did he bring a lot of locker room help? Was he the guy that went after Al-Shire or whatever when Trevor got cheap shotted? Absolutely. And yes, Evan Ingram's going to have, I think, a career year, possibly in Denver, a la Jimmy Graham and that Sean Payton offense. But Evan Ingram wasn't going to work in Jacksonville simply because he's not a good run blocker. And we can sit here and say, well, yeah, in the red zone it would have been fine. But you know what? Brenton Strange showed that he can be a red zone target. You have Travis Hunter now. You have Brian Thomas Jr. Like, Evan Ingram's a great football player, but he wasn't a great football player in the Liam Cohen offense. And guess what? If Trevor Lawrence really wanted Evan Ingram here, I think he would still be here. I get Trevor doesn't run the team, but you know what? I think he had a little bit of input of what this offense is going to do going forward. It's going to be a focus on the run game. Brenton Strange is by far a better run blocker, and if you want a little more of like what's been James Gladstone's biggest mistake, I'm going to say that you took a chance on Caleb Ransaw, who doesn't have the productivity, the production that you want, and you're going to put him in a new position, and you took him over Xavier Watts, who, next to Travis Hunter, was the only 2-time unanimous All-American in all of college football. I feel like Watts is a guy you could have brought in right away, had him be a certified starter on this defense, but you decided to go with a maybe more of a project guy who may not start week 1.
It's good stuff. Justice Hamby.
Austen came on strong late.
He did.
Top with it.
But I can't sign it.
Get out of here.
You want to have the hat backwards?
Winner Brent.
You're already impressed with that.
Brent, no, but that was good, man. That was good. Brent, congratulations.
Yeah, that was a tough one for you to win.
Yeah, it's fine.
I thought he made a good argument. Anyway, last one has nothing to do with sports. Austen, you'll start.
Yeah.
What'd he say? Why are you talking?
You didn't. Oh, sorry. I like it.
Nobody told you to
I
talk.
can't even look at him.
It's a tight ship.
Contempt.
Colonel Sanders.
Colonel Sanders.
I'm kidding. No, sorry, I'm kidding. No.
All right, let's get this done. Lilo and Stitch back in movie theaters.
Good thing I won this.
Good
thing I'm 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
I think this makes a lot of sense. There's a cool popcorn bucket.
There is a cool popcorn bucket. Okay.
But Stitch Some would say the GOAT of alien characters. So I ask you, is Stitch, or is he not, the greatest alien character in cinema history?
I wish I had some prep time with my legal defense team, but no, we're all good.
That's not how this works.
No, it's all good. Is Stitch the greatest?
24-hour recess.
I got it. So the argument is Stitch the greatest alien character of all time.
Yes or no? And then Brent's going to get stuck with a tough one.
Yeah, so I'm going to sit here and say there is absolutely no way that Stitch is the greatest alien character of all time because he caters to just a small niche audience, and that's kids. My son loved the original Lilo and Stitch when he was like 6 years old. He is now 10. He could care less about going to see this live action Lilo and Stitch. Why? Because it's just an alien that's like nobody cares. Here's the legit alien of all cinema. It's the xenomorph from the movie Aliens, right? Because when we talk about horror franchises, when we talk about sci-fi franchises, the movie Alien, the original, and the sequel Aliens is arguably one of the two of the scariest movies of all time. Oh, and by the way, you want to talk about franchises? How many Lilo and Stitch movies are there? How many Alien movies are there? Why? Because there's a demand. So the xenomorph is by far, and it's not even a debate, is the greatest alien in movie franchise history.
Okay, I mean, he had some points there, but Lilo and Stitch is their one movie, sure. Was there a television show? Absolutely. Video games, Disney World rides. People went and rode the ride to see Stitch.
Judge.
It's the judge. Stealing my thunder.
Judge.
It's a kangaroo court.
Brent?
By the way, the greatest alien of all time is E.T. And
stop! It's over. It's over. He's a moron. He can't listen. This is not your argument.
I know it. I'm just telling you you're wrong.
That's not the point.
That's part of my argument. It's wrong. And E.T. was a ride at Disney. And
No,
That's
Brent,
wrong too.
Your argument is that Lilo or Stitch is the greatest.
I know it, but I'm about to set it up.
Okay, set it up, sorry.
E.T. was a ride at Disney.
It was not.
Yes, it was.
Universal.
Oh, Universal.
You suck.
And Lilo and Stitch.
Learn something other
Lilo
than
and
sports.
Stitch has taken over for the ride. So Lilo and Stitch becomes the greatest alien of all time.
No.
Hamby, if you don't give me the point, I'm coming back there. I'm telling you right now.
Well, actually, until you said what you said, I wasn't even going to say anything. On this
Xenomorph?
one.
Oh, yeah.
No, until I wasn't even going to address it. I was just
gotcha.
going to say the defense rests. but then you left. But then you left me my E.T. and Disney ride, and then the judge took the Disney ride.
I think E.T. and the Xenomorph are it's a good debate, but
Okay, first of all, the greatest alien of all time, if you want to stretch the meaning of the word, is Yoda. He is the GOAT.
Yoda an alien? Okay, yeah.
He's the GOAT.
Okay.
If the judge were participating in this argument, it would be winner judge. But he's not. Austin had actual points. Winner Austin.
Austin made actual sense. All right. So what's the tiebreaker?
There is none.
There is none.
Okay, gotcha.
We're both going to jail.
Okay.
You're both going to jail. Yeah, that's pretty terrible.
We go. Is Jason Tatum elite?
You want to do is that? Go ahead. Is Jason Tatum elite?
Do I start it out? Or?
You want to do it? Go ahead.
Brent, you want to do it or not?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Is Jason Tatum elite?
I love how this guy got his own question.
Advantage Austin.
That's fair.
I mean, do you want to come up with? You can come up with a
No,
different
go
one.
ahead.
No, it's good. Go.
Okay. Well, because I think you're going to go with Jason Tatum, so I'll go against. When we talk about Jason Tatum and you talk about an elite player, I think the definition of elite is can you close games? And Jason Tatum has made it perfectly clear that he cannot close games. If you ask any Celtics fan who they want the ball in their hand to win a game, it's going to be Jaylen Brown, or do I dare say Kristaps Porzingis? No one's going to say Jason Tatum. So if you're not in the conversation to, hey, in the game's on the line, we need you to produce, well then guess what? You're not elite. And if you don't take my word for it. Steve Kerr, regarded as one of the best coaches in NBA history. That's what the poll said. We talked about it, Brett. Remember that? NBA 75, one of the best coaches in NBA history. Well, was there a reason why Jason Tatum didn't even sniff the court in the Olympics? Was there a reason why Jason Tatum's mom was crying on Twitter saying, well, why isn't my son playing in the Olympics? You know why? Because he's not elite. Because he doesn't have that killer mentality. Because he doesn't have that dog in him. And if he would have been playing for the Olympics for Team USA, we would have got a silver medal.
Jason Tatum is absolutely elite. He's getting paid $70 million. That's pretty elite to me. He's averaging 24 points for his career in the playoffs, which, by the way, spans 119 games, not just a few. Once averaged 30 points a game in the playoffs, 25 points a game, 27 points a game in the postseason. And when they won a national champion, an NBA championship as well. So absolutely elite. The reason why the Celtics are a favorite most years over the last handful of years because of Jason Tatum. 24 points, 8 boards, 5 assists in 119 games. Everybody else got to pick up the slack and play some defense, damn it. The Celtics, you've had a 20-point lead each of the last 2 games and lost it.
So he's a scorer. Doesn't mean he's elite.
Hamby, I know you're a big basketball guy.
Oh, God, yeah, we might as well just coin flip this one.
Settle the debate.
I wanted to give it to Brent simply because of the cuss word. I felt that helped his argument, but I'm going to go with Austen here. If the guy can't score with the ball in his hands to finish the game, I can't put him in the elite category.
I agree with that.
He's a good scorer.
By the way, the jury stopped listening like after the.
No, I did not.
Why are you talking about my jury, dog?
He's a good scorer.
First of all, Brent, the jury's not the one who's talking here. What's my title, Judge?
Justice Handy.
That's right.
Oh, Justice, sorry.
Thank you, Justice Hamby. You've been fair.
Hey, by the way, that's a bunch of bull, too, because going back on our show from years ago, I made the claim that Jason Tatum wasn't elite for like a year.
Mm-hmm.
And see, I'm right. He isn't.
Things changed. Yeah.
That argument was like 5 years
Brent,
ago.
It was 5 years ago.
We were in DeVoley's House of Cards.
I've been saying that forever.
Remember the last time I was in DeVoley's House of Cards? Is it still in the same location? That was a long time ago.
I thought
Luka wasn't even in the league yet. I
thought for sure when he asked his own question, he'd take like his old stance.
Oh no! Here's the thing.
He shifted.
No, because I
took the right stance.
I took the right stance for sure. But also, I try to help you out, man. I try to throw you a layup, pun intended, because I feel like Jason Tatum's your guy. I got you, man.
Really need to get the middle finger emoji.
Yes. Dude can score. Dude's a bucket. But just because you can score does not make you elite. Ask James Harden.
All right. Court is dismissed. My hair is very
Judge.
hot. Let's get this thing
Dude,
going.
I bet it's toasty.
Go celebrate the Pope. Pope has been named, by the way.
Really? Who we got?
What does that have to do with a judge?
I don't know.
But I mean, that's big news. Gray smoke, right? Or red smoke?
White.
White smoke.
White smoke? Hamby knows.
Did it all morning, brother.
Come back.
Wait, it's been announced for a while? Or not?
About 10, 15 minutes ago.
Do we have the stats?
Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up.
That's for the Pope.
We have the stats.
Do we have the stats? Who's the guy? What's he averaging? What do we got? Where's he drafted out of? Give us some stats here.
There was a guy who, one of the favorites, his last name was Pizza Balla. So let me see if it was him.
Pizza Baller?
I don't know. Why can't I find the name of the Pope? Maybe they haven't released the name.
Oh, yeah.
That they just know
His
that
papal
White
name
Smoke
will
says-
be announced briefly.
Okay. So we don't know exactly.
They have to do like the whole ceremony and everything. Like, and now you're starting Pope.
Play the Chicago Bulls.
Oh, you got him, man. Magic comes out with some like a fog machine.
That would be
all right. So Brent,
Daniel Griffith says, "I'll get the data tomorrow."
Yeah.
All right, Brent. So
right now, if my mom's listening, she's like going to be calling me soon. Like, what are you doing talking about the Pope like that?
What? It's see. Okay, here's the thing. And once again, I like when it comes to Pope. Check out the Rasta.
Gosh.
I mean, when it comes to popes, yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm not a Mel Kiper by any means, but I felt like when it comes, like the last pope who just passed, wasn't he kind of like the cool dude? He was like out in the streets and stuff, kind of
so,
like
yes.
yeah.
He was
like
the people's Pope.
Yeah, he's the people's pope.
Yeah, and I'm
so let's have some fun with it now.
I don't know exactly. I don't want to speak out of turn. I feel like there've been some upsets though before. Speaking of Vegas odds, like who the Pope would be.
Yeah,
and I don't think it was this past one. I think it was 2 ago, where people were like, that was like they didn't know who he was.
Yeah,
they're like, who is this, really? And it'll be interesting to see this time around how it's received.
Did y'all know how big betting on the Pope is?
I had no idea,
really
but I'm seeing
it's
some
huge
stuff now. Yeah.
Really?
And it's not like just a new thing. Apparently it's gone on, in different ways, non-digital ways for a while.
So like, what do you bet on? Like, they give you a list of names,
Well, yeah,
or is it more like when it will be? Because there's like it's usually like anywhere between 3 days and 14 days, I think.
So, according to this USA Today article, Brent, it looks like kind of like American Idol. There's like a bunch of finalists here. You want me to go over some of the names? Or no? No, we're good. Okay, we won't go down this road.
How many
That's
names
fine.
are there?
Like 7.
Okay, go.
Yeah. So we got Pope, and we got information too. We got the stats. So we got Cardinal Luis Antonio Gokim Tagle. He's 67. He's Filipino, and he's the former Archbishop of Manila.
Okay.
We got the Vatican diplomat, Cardinal Pietro Perion. I like that name. He's Italian, 70 years old. Seen as a Okay, yep. Next one is Cardinal Peter Cordeau. This one is Brent. This is our.
I figured this could go
this
this
is a rough
way.
one. Yep. Peter Cordowo Apia Turkson.
Okay.
He's from Ghana, and he's a Vatican official, president of the Pontifical Council for Justice and Peace. He's 76 years old. Cardinal Peter Erdo, 72 years old, former president of the Council of Bishop Conferences of Europe. He's Hungarian. We got a couple more here. We got Jean-Marc Aveline, 60. Ooh, this guy's a freshman. 66 years old. He's French. He's the Archbishop of Marseille. 82-year-old Italian, former Archbishop of Milan, I guess.
Yep.
Cardinal Angelo Scola. And then we got Mario Greek, Maltese, 68 years old, Secretary General of the Synod of Bishops.
So what's the youngest pope on there?
There's 3 more, by the way. I'm just
sorry.
Sorry. Yeah. The youngest pope, I think, is 59 years old. This is Cardinal, the one that Hamby said, Pizza Bella.
So
Pizza Baller.
So I've always assumed like the pope had to be almost like in their 60s or 70s.
I guess, huh?
But that's not, I guess, the case.
Well, I mean, this guy's 59 is the youngest.
That would be the youngest. And again, I think more of them are usually older. But
why is that? I mean, like, there's plenty of like young people in. Like, give me my pope coming out to the smoke like grittying and.
Do you know like the youngest pope?
Oh, Hamby.
You know the youngest pope?
Nope. Who's the youngest pope?
Pope Benedict.
Okay. But there's been
The
a couple
ninth.
Pope Benedict. Okay, yeah, there we go.
He's got 4 ages next to him. 12, 20, 33, 35. And the reason why they're not sure how old he was because this was back in 1012.
Oh,
yeah, I was about to
okay.
say we've had to have some young popes because we used to have kings that were 13 years old or whatever.
So the big thing here is like I would say in I don't know if you want to call it the modern era.
How are you going to be a pope and have a bedtime? You know?
Well, because even like this one, Pope Leo that was 37, but at that age, like 37 was probably old back in 1400.
Oh yeah.
True,
right?
True, yeah.
So
no one's living past like probably
so
60.
41, but that was in 1329, and then 45 in 1365, and then 45 in 1478, 48 in 1369. I mean, finally 880. Gosh, this goes way back. So actually, the youngest popes, it was all before 1400.
Okay.
Or 1500. So I guess, like I said, in the modern era,
Yeah.
I don't think you have anybody under 50.
Yeah.
And probably not under 55, probably closer to in their 60s and 70s.
Well, looks like off the quick log into my Hard Rock bet account and see what I
So
can place one
that's
down.
what I was going to ask you guys. Like, when you are betting on the Pope, is that done like at a day of, or is it like this, like in names? Do you know, Hamby, if there are that many people that bet on it?
I'm pretty sure it's a
name.
It's a name, and it's also a day. You might even be able to bet country.
Oh yeah, I bet you can. Yeah,
okay.
I bet you can.
So
who's like the Alabama of like Pope countries? Italy. Who's the Georgia of Pope countries?
I would think Italy, right?
I think so.
Okay. Or from what country? Hold on, we'll do this. I'm kind of interested.
Brent, you're curious
I can't
about
wait
this?
to talk to my mom the next time I talk to her.
dude,
And be like, hey,
you're
Mom,
gonna be so
do you
versed.
know- Yeah.
You're gonna be so versed in this. I can't wait to use this never again, but it's cool. I'm having fun here.
Peroline was the guy who held a large lead on both Polymarket and Cauchy.
Okay, yeah, you're right. So 31% of the bets right now are coming in on Peroline.
Are they? That's Italy.
Has to be.
By the way, you want to know number of popes from what country? Italy, 217. You want to know who's next?
Everybody else?
Yeah.
Greece?
France is next.
With like 4?
16.
Okay.
Whoa, so it's Italy.
217 to 6.
So it's Italy.
Yeah, Italy.
We're going SEC here. Okay.
But what's interesting, there was a Filipino finalist.
Yeah.
That would be the first one ever. UK has 1, Croatia 2, Portugal 2, Spain 2, Turkey 2, Israel 3, Tunisia 3, Greece 4, not bad call, Syria 5, Germany 6, France 16, and Italy 217.
So the guy Austen Lane from Ghana would be the first as well.
So right now, according to this USA Today article, the Paroline guy is the favorite to win.
That's Italy.
But the Toggle guy, who I don't think was from...
Let's go Togle on that.
Togle, is the second favorite right now. And let's go back to our scouting reports here. He's Filipino. He's the former Archbishop of Manila. He's often called the Asian Francis because of his similar commitment to social justice. If elected, he would be the first modern-era pontiff from Asia. So he's second, according to this article.
Interesting.
So it could see some history here.
All right. We're going to see history no matter what, but we'll see. So does the name get announced today, Hamby?
Yes.
Is that what the article said?
Will you go live on the TV side of things?
That's a good question. I think CBS. I feel
CBS is cutting
News,
in for
what's behind you right now? Any of the stations?
Because I feel like it's a big deal.
Yeah, I think it's worldwide.
If you're going to cover the royal wedding, you better cover the Pope.
Yeah, and plus it's a once in every I don't know.
Yeah, CBS
12,
is
15,
live on
20
it.
years. They are live on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mr. DeCopel, he went from Bill B to the Pope.
Yeah, well, he's doing the.
That's him.
Hamby's burner. Where's the James Gladstone of popes? Yeah.
At least he won't have to worry about
Jordan
jumping in.
Oh man!
All right, what are we doing? We taking a break?
Yeah, let's do
Got
it.
one more to go. We'll take a break. I do want to seriously talk about the Knicks in the NBA playoffs are pretty wild right now.
It's crazy.
Don't let me forget. We'll do it when we come back on the Brent Austen Show on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Hey, Jacksonville Sharks, don't forget to check out their schedule, jacksharks.com. Shark Bites coming up this weekend as well. The Sharks have a bye week. They're 4-2 right now. You scan that QR code or you call the ticket office, find more about tickets, but also about promotions. And the next home game, which will be next Saturday, will be at the arena, part of a back-to-backer with Fisher's Freight at home and then on the road. So May 17th, the Jacksonville Sharks, 4-2 and back on track, will be home downtown at the arena. When it's time to get a new car for anyone in your family, just remember, nobody but Nimnick, the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville. Get the latest price breaks on 2023 and 2024 models or the newest 2025 vehicles in the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at nimnickbuickgmc.com 24 hours a day. GMC Sierras, Yukons, and the redesigned Acadias, or get the all-new redesigned line with Buicks. It's nobody but Nimnick, and part of the reason why is this is a first-class buying experience here at Nimnick Buick GMC. You're not just a customer, you're a friend. This is about getting a vehicle that best fits you and getting you on the road, and also helping you and your family down the road. Nimnick has a treating you right guarantee, courtesy, respect, fairness. And most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer, nobody but Nimnick. Who has put in the most years and stands behind a better experience? Nobody but Nimnick. GMC. We are professional grade.
If you look good, you feel good. And the medical professionals here at Ponte Vedra Vein and Aesthetics are here to make you feel your best. I'm on camera every week, and I have a confession to make. I'm not always confident in my appearance. Can you see my dark circles? Is my makeup highlighting my fine lines instead of covering them up? I question it all. So when I found out about the wide variety of procedures here at Ponte Vedra Vein and Aesthetics, I knew help was just one appointment away. Medical Director Dr. Megan Deacon-Casey and her board-certified physicians have been using the latest in cutting-edge technology for the last 10 years, giving men and women their personal confidence boost. From Botox, fillers, Morpheus 8, and so much more. The hardest part was figuring out what I needed. Thankfully, the medical team walked me through what would work best for me through a free consultation. Come look and feel your best with the team here at Ponte Vedra Vein and Aesthetics. Visit them at one of their 2 locations, either over in Ponte Vedra or on the south side.
I've been telling you about CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing for a long time now. Their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants.
We've had a Connecticut water softener and drinking water system in our home for more than 7 years. You can see the difference whether you're washing clothes, the dishes, or what I like to do most, fill this up for some coffee every morning, and mostly all day. Remember, if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter.
Right now, you can get a free Kinetico reverse osmosis system with the purchase of a Kinetico Premier Softener. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and determine your water score. Don't know your water score? CGC will find out and recommend the appropriate Kinetico water treatment solutions so you can improve it. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Ask about our 90-day love it or leave it guarantee. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Kinetico dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
Empower a future, inspire a dream. It's a bold but simple mission for the Jacksonville Police Athletic League known as Jax PAL. Help the next generation of kids in Jacksonville shape a brighter future. Their after-school programs, teenage leadership programs. There's community outreach.
This has been just an awesome opportunity to be out here with my colleagues and do something good for the community. It's really been an interesting opportunity to just see everybody work together in a way that we don't normally in the office.
And there's sports. There are also ways you can help the next generation with a donation of any kind. Just visit jaxpal.org to get more information. Empower a future, inspire a dream with Jax PAL.
Most of us know how to throw. But you need to know what to throw. I'm not talking about footballs, baseballs, softballs. We're talking about those items you need to recycle. Republic Services explains it easy. Recycling simplified. 1. Know what to throw. When in doubt, throw it out. 2. Empty, clean, and dry those materials. It takes an extra minute, but it makes a big difference. And 3. Don't bag it. This makes the recycling process faster and more efficient. This is a look at the Republic Services North Florida Recycling Center. You can make this process even more efficient. By utilizing those 3 steps, Republic Services can help you become a better recycler in your home. Learn more at recyclingsimplified.com.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austin Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Hey, welcome back, Brent and Austin Show. We're going to do the in-commercial live stream.
Behind the scenes.
That's $9.99 a month.
Yeah, that's the premium package right there, Brent. That's where all the good stuff's at.
What could we offer?
Unfiltered.
What could we offer in the breaks to charge a premium?
Just more unfiltered conversation.
Yeah, very unfiltered.
Yes.
There was nothing bad, by the way. It's just
no.
We're really just talking about should you be able to bet on the Pope?
See, like I'm a very forward-thinking person. I feel like betting on the Pope is just that's the line.
Feel right.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else would that be in that category? Like that you could.
What you bet on?
Shouldn't you bet? Like
youth
what
sports?
Shouldn't be on the youth sports?
Well, for real. Oh,
yeah. I'll tell you, I've heard.
Little League World Series.
I'll tell you this: I've never seen this with my own eyes, but I have heard it's a legitimate thing that happens, like at high school football games, with dads betting.
Oh, I have no comment on that.
I've not seen that.
Hey.
I have not seen that, but I've heard stories from administrators, and other people, that's a real thing. And listen, we live in the baseball. No one's ever approached me to be like, "Hey, I'll bet you $5 Ty strikes out here."
Oh, dude, I didn't know this had nothing to do with my family, but I know small town Wisconsin, back part of the bowling alley. Yeah, there were some high deals going down over high school sports. Oh yes.
Gosh, I wouldn't touch that.
Yeah.
No, I mean I'm assuming if you have Trinity Christian against Wolfson, you'd have to lay a lot of points.
No, for sure. But here's the thing, Brent, once again, depending how you look at it, but when you have small town football like that, like what we had, everybody across town. So people start to talk a little bit. So you can get a pretty good idea of how good a team's going to be
or like if a star player's out or something like that, like what could happen?
So give me an idea. What do you think the bets are wagered?
What were
Like
they?
on who will win, or is it like a star quarterback throwing 5 touchdowns?
No, I know one bet. I don't want to say too much. I know a bet was placed one time for $500 when we played a team in the playoffs.
On who would win?
Correct. Yeah. I think we may have got like -3, like my team, but I know that went down. I know that went down.
I guess I can make some
By the
sense.
way, I know it went down because they told us it went down. They're like, "Hey, you guys better win more by 3," and we're like,
what does that even mean?
Huh? Yeah,
that's interesting. Like I've been around this stuff for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
and I've never experienced it. I can honestly say I've never heard. It was recent where I heard something about it, and I was like, so then I started asking some folks. I was like, oh yeah. Like, we know that happens. I'm like, really?
See, this is...
And I think it was more high school football related.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's other sports, too. Like, I'm not sure.
But this is where the small town taverns come into play because, like, you get people talking like, oh, this team would crush your team by... And then it's almost like... It's like a pissing contest.
It is.
And then it eventually escalates to a bet on the line.
I was going to say, it probably escalates even more because there's a lot of emotion in that.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like, we know that about just... competitive nature, there's a lot of emotion. Hey, we're going to beat you tonight, even if we know we're not as good.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
So that's wild. I did, but that's a good one. Or do we get to the stage where we are betting on high school football in our country?
It's when you ask what else could be like crossing the line for what you could bet on, my mind goes like court cases or like wars. Like, eventually, could we go that far to where we're betting on the winner of a war?
That's a long payoff on the war. I get what you're saying. Like, that's interesting.
You're betting, because that's what Kalshi's all about is like the world events. Like, you can bet on what the economy is going to do. That's why it was big for the presidential election. So, like, are we going to see...
What did you say? What was your other one that you said? Oh, court cases.
Court cases.
I could see that. Like, in today's day and age, would DraftKings have something on the OJ trial?
What about like the P. Diddy trial? It's going to be very high profile. That's dropping next week, ain't it?
Oh,
I don't know if it's televised.
Oh, maybe it's got to be televised. You'd think it's going to be televised.
I didn't even know. That's the next week?
I think so.
Like a big trial?
Oh, yeah. It's
like the biggest.
Well,
like
it's
all
about
the
to go
stuff.
down. Oh, yeah. It's going to take a long time,
Yeah.
but I think it starts next week.
Okay, so like I wouldn't say it would come out now. Maybe it would.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you have something now, but like the OJ thing took a while too. But the whole when you get to the actual verdict and you know what's going on, will there
type in baby oil. You know, you get hashtag baby oil, you get 30% off your Diddy bet. Like, I don't know.
Diddy
man.
will not be televised.
You know how big that one is? You know how many people are tied to that?
Do you think it's because of the nature of the topic?
I think it's but I think it's because the nature of who can be mentioned. Like, you can read the court documents, like, without getting too far down this rabbit hole of conspiracy theories, but there's a lot of celebrities that are tied to Diddy.
Yeah.
In not a good way.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they're trying to, like,
Protect that.
Even though I feel like
bit.
if it's announced in court, it'll get out of court.
True.
But
Interesting. All right, hey, NBA, how crazy is it that the Knicks were able to come back, and are they going to win that series
it's
now?
insane what the Pacers are doing, and it's insane what the Knicks are doing. I mean, how can you pick against the Knicks right now, Brent? Like, how can you pick against...
Plus, that place will be nuts on whatever it happens.
It's going to be irate, yeah.
How have the Celtics done? I mean, they have 20-point leads, and Indiana did the same thing. Like, There's been 3 of them. Do you know the percentage of that was like 11 out of like 1,000 games had done that? 3 of them have happened this week.
That's why it's the craziest playoff series, group ever.
Is that what's made it crazy in your opinion? Those 3 games, basically.
Yeah. Well, the Lakers going out first round was kind of crazy.
Yeah,
I thought.
true.
Yep. I mean, Golden State kind of doing their thing. Like, a lot of people loved Houston just because they're like the gritty team. They're like a well put together team, and then obviously Jimmy Butler comes in. But now even more crazier, Steph Curry's gonna be out for a little bit.
He is, out
and they're
for a
still
week.
dominating.
Yeah, they've still been
all of a sudden, Draymond Green goes, "Yeah, don't worry, I'll drop 20, no problem."
By the way, Jimmy Butler, the opposite, in my opinion, of Tatum. Like this
Explain.
Is his time of year.
Oh, for sure.
This is going to be his legacy. Is what you remember now.
Of course.
I mean, he's a good player all the time, but he's not this level player all the time.
No, when the playoffs come, I mean, they call him Playoff Jimmy for a reason.
Yeah.
When it's the playoff time, Jimmy Butler, he elevates his game. You know what? I would rather have that than just be a good regular season player.
You know who he is?
Who you got?
My comp, Jeter.
Okay.
The level now, Jeter's a good player no matter what.
Yeah, but
so is
when-
Jimmy Butler. But
when the lights are the
this
brightest?
time of year,
Yeah.
elevates them to like where you feel like they're some of the greatest that have ever played.
Let me ask you this though: does it take away from your credibility when that's kind of the case, where you kind of need the bright lights to elevate your game, or do you? Okay.
I just think they're overlooked sometime in the regular season too. They're good enough.
Yeah.
But I think that's a pat on the back if you can do it this time of year.
Fair.
Back at it tomorrow on a Friday. Have a good Thursday, everybody.